हॅलो.
हा सर.
मला सांगा ते को होस्ट कसं करायचं?
सर हे बघा, तिथे तुमची म्यूटच्या बाजूला एक तीन डॉट दिसतात, त्याच्यामध्ये जायचं आणि
मोर आहे
मोर असतं.
त्याच्यामध्ये. हा, त्याच्यामध्ये काय?
मोर मध्ये असतं. तुम्हाला कोहोस्ट केलं, तुम्ही पण आता कोहोस्ट करू शकता कोणाला पण.
नाही नाही, ऑप्शन काय त्याच्यात? आता 3 मध्ये मला काय दिसेल? मीटिंग सेटिंग मध्ये जायचं का?
म्यूटच्या बाजूला बघा 3 डॉट आहेत.
नाही नाही, आता बघा म्यूटच्या बाजूला
म्यूट ऑडिओ, आज स्टार्ट व्हिडिओ.
नाही, काय आहे, मला मोबाईल मध्ये बघतोय मी. हॅलो.
हा हा
मोबाईल मध्ये बघतो म्हणलो.
हा सर.
मोबाईल मध्ये बघतो म्हणलो.
अच्छा अच्छा. माझं माझं स्क्रीन गेला आता, 1 मिनिट. हा सर.
हॅलो.
हा, त्या म्यूटच्या बाजूला मोर म्हणून ऑप्शन दिसते का सर?
नाही, माझ्या मोर आहे ना.
हा, मोर मध्ये क्लिक केलं तुम्ही, खाली त्यामध्ये मेक होस्ट, मेक को होस्ट असं आहे, तर को होस्ट करू शकता.
नाही, काय माझ्यामध्ये बघा 4च ऑप्शन आहे: रेकॉर्ड, डिस्कनेक्ट ऑडिओ, चॅट आणि मोबाईल मध्ये सांगतो मी. मग मीटिंग सेटिंग मध्ये गेलं ना, तिथं काय त्याच्यात नाही दिसत ते प्रायमरी. ते बहुतेक मोबाईल मध्ये नाही करता येत.
अच्छा, असं लॅपटॉपवर
मी
करता
काय
येतं?
करतो,
हा.
काय होतंय, माझं लॅपटॉप सारखं डिस्कनेक्ट होते.
अच्छा
ते
अच्छा.
काय काय माहित काय प्रॉब्लेम आहे, कळत नाही. ते सारखं इंटरनेट जाते ना, म्हणून मी ते वापरत नाही.
बरोबर.
तरी मी मोबाईल मध्ये लॅपटॉप पण चालू करून ठेवतो. 2 माझे लॉग इन दिसतील, दोन्हीला को होस्ट करा म्हणजे.
ओके ओके सर. 125 लोक झाले, करू का त्यांना येईन? थांबू थोडं.
आपले आले का लोक? अगोदर आपल्याला को
चौधरी
होस्ट केलं
सरांना.
तर हे.
हा, चौधरी सर आता आले.
हा, मग आपल्या लोकांना को होस्ट करा म्हणजे प्रॉब्लेम येणार नाही नंतर.
हा.
1-2 मिनिट थांबू आपण.
ओके ओके.
1:45 ला त्यांना लॉग इन करू आपण. नाही ना?
हो हो, चालेल. चैतन्य सर आणि नवले मॅडमचं थोडं. चैतन्य सर आणि नवले मॅडम दिसतात का?
बघतो 1 मिनिट. ऍडमिट मध्ये का? श्रेया प्राची.
एचपीचा लॅपटॉप मी वापरू का?
वापर ना.
तो खराब आहे ना पण, म्हणजे
बघ करून. खराब आहे ते.
चौधरी सर, हॅलो. चौधरी सर.
पूजा शर्मा, प्रमोद वैष्णव
चौधरी सर.
मॅडम, ताडकर सर आहेत. लॉग इन केलं का सगळ्यांना?
ऑटोमॅटिक झाले.
हा,
ऑटो झालेत ते. अनम्यूट करतो.
हॅलो, नवले सर, आपलं मावळे सर.
हा,
हा, आलोय मी.
आले ना सर?
हो, आलोय.
प्रवीण ताडकर सर, आपले लोक कोण आहेत त्यांना हे करून घ्या, कोस्ट करून घेऊ अगोदर.
हो.
नवले मॅडम आले. आता फक्त चैतन्य सर आले.
अजून राहिले, त्यांना ऍडमिटच केलं नाही.
ताडकर सर
झालेत ते.
आले ना सगळे?
हो हो. चैतन्य
सर
सर.
सर 1:45 ला येतो म्हणले.
बरं.
मग करून घ्यायचे ऍडमिट सगळ्यांना.
ते झालेत ते. मी केलं, 5 लोकांना केलं आपल्या.
नाही, बाकीच्या ऍडमिट करून घ्यायचं का?
हो हो.
चौधरी सर स्पीकर किती वाजता येणार आहे?
1:45, 1:45.
मग त्यांना अगोदर ऍडमिट करायचं का नंतर केलं तर चालेल?
नाही, अगोदरच करूत ना, म्हणजे ते स्क्रीन शेअर वगैरे सुरू करतील.
ते नाही म्हणत, बाकी ना ऍडमिट करून घ्यायचं का आता
पार्टिसिपेंटला का?
हा.
हा, हॅलो.
हा सर.
हा,
आले चैतन्य सर पण आले.
हो.
मला चैतन्य सरांना पण केलं मी.
खूप जण वेट करतात.
हॅलो चैतन्य सर.
त्यांना
हा, आवाज येतोय का?
वापस लिव कर.
येस सर येस.
क्लिअर आहे ना?
हो हो
ओके.
ऍडमिट ऑल करू दे का?
हो हो.
थांबा की अजून 5 मिनिटं का काय?
नाही येऊ.
चौधरी सर. हॅलो.
हा येस सर.
ते स्पीकर कडे तुम्ही लक्ष ठेवा मला.
हो 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 मी लक्ष ठेवतोय.
एक कोर्स करायचंय ते लॅपटॉप वरून
सुरू केलं होतं.
फक्त मिनिमाइज करून घ्या.
All participants are requested to please off your video. So taking so much bandwidth, so please, you are requested to off your video, please. All participants. Soon we will start the session. So I kindly request all participants to mute your video, please. Again, I will request all the participants to please off your video. Hello. All participants are requested to kindly off your video, please. हेलो हेलो हाँ बोलना हॅलो वालके सर
हां सर.
आवाज येतोय ना
हो येस येस.
All participants are requested to kindly off your video.
For better clarity, all are requested to off your video because it will consume more bandwidth, so that may affect on the clarity. So all participants are requested to off your video and mute your mic. And we're going to start session soon at 2 o'clock sharp.
Participants are requested that in chat box attendance link is provided. So kindly mark your attendance by signing in that Google form. Complete fill that Google form. So that will be the attendance of first session. So you are requested to see the chat box. Link is provided by Praveen Talkar sir.
Just you can press on link and link will be copied, and you can paste on the URL. The Google Sheet will open and you can fill up your details. That is attendance of today's session.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Yes sir, you are audible. Balchandra sir, you are audible. Yes,
हा
yes sir.
व्हिडिओचा काहीतरी प्रॉब्लेम येतोय का तुम्ही आता एक काय चालू म्हणून दुसरा होणार नाही?
Yes sir.
माझा व्हिडिओ फोटो नाही दिसत आहे म्हणजे कॅमेरा.
मी स्टार्ट करा ना व्हिडिओ.
हो मी केलेला आहे. तर ही सेइंग सम सिलेक्ट अनदर समथिंग. मी परत जॉईन होऊ का?
हा चालेल सर.
आम्ही लीव करून परत येतो.
ओके ओके सर.
हं?
All participants are requested to mark your attendance. The link is provided in chat box. ए वेदो यार, आवाज नको करून इथे. तुला करून टाकतो. नाही होत पण रिस्पॉन्स. वेलकम Bhalchandra sir.
वेलकम सर.
You can share your screen, sir.
Okay, shall I do that? Okay.
Chaudhary sir. Hello.
Hello.
Chaudhary sir.
चौधरी सरांना काहीतरी प्रॉब्लेम एकदा विचारतो त्यांना.
हा.
एकच मिनिट.
मावळे सर दिसतंय का स्क्रीन?
हा झालो.
Yes, sir. Okay.
हॅलो.
Chaudhary sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you can
Shall we start?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Our respected principal, Sir Dr. D.S. Bormane, Dr. Bhalchandra Bhole, and all dear participants. I, Chaudhary C.S., welcome you all to the second day of this faculty development program on promoting quality culture in technical institutions, organized by AISSMS College of Engineering, Pune. For today's first session, we have with us Dr. Bhalchandra Bhole, who is mentor for IQC Cluster India. To introduce Dr. Bhole in brief, after 37 years of teaching, Dr. Bhalchandra Bhole retired as Head Department of Microbiology from Abasaheb Garware College, Pune in September 2017. He has been very active members of several vital committees of his institute as well as at Savitribai Phule Pune University, including Board of Studies in Microbiology, LIC committees, and teacher selection panels. His research profile includes several research papers, presentations at national, international level, and major research projects, including a DBT, public-private partnership with outlaying of 4.1 crore rupees. He was PhD research guide at SPPU. He has completed 2 postdoctoral projects assignments, one from Canada in 1999 and from Mauritius in 2004. Bhole sir has successfully handled many industry-related projects also. Dr. Bhole was IQC coordinator of his college for 14 years and superheaded the efforts of his college to earn the A grade twice through 3 cycles of NAC accreditation. He has a passion for assisting institutions for quality improvement and has been instrumental in designing training workshops, programs for teachers through IQC Cluster India and RUSA, Maharashtra. Dr. Bhole has been awarded Gunwant Shikshak Puraskar by Maharashtra Education Society for his academic efforts in college developments. So we are glad to receive Sir, Dr. Bhole sir. I welcome you and request you to share your views. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chaudhary sir. At the outset, I thank Principal Bormane, the coordinators Chaudhary and Dr. Bhalke for having given me this opportunity and given me a topic of my liking. I have been, as sir said, a IQAC coordinator for a long time with my colleges, and I will share some of the experiences as well as what the IQAC should be doing across the board. So my presentation is not necessarily only associated with NAC accreditation or NBA accreditation. It is more outlined for quality improvement of any institution, whether it be a technical institution, a simple college for arts, science, or commerce, or any other professional college. So the topic I have chosen is the role of IQAC in quality improvement, and I learned that the speaker after me is also from the IQAC cluster, Dr. Sanjay Gaikwad. So I'm very happy to be on this forum, and I will request you to put your questions in the chat box as you go on, and we will try to answer as many as possible. So to begin with my presentation today, I intend to complete it in well before time, and we will leave some time for questions in this 1.5 hour session. So the first thing that we need to understand is what is the primary role of the IQAC. The primary role of the IQAC is not only to carry out NAC accreditation or to lead the path for NAC accreditation. It is leading the internal quality assurance system of the college or of the institution for time immemorial. The committee may change, everything else may change, members may change, but the system, internal quality assurance system, should not change. It should always improve. And the second thing is, what are the areas for quality improvement, which I have called as quality areas. So these are the two things that I will be elaborating upon today. This graphic essentially shows you the journey of a college. If you look at the y-axis, the y-axis shows you complexity of operations. And just to make ourselves a little bit more familiar and something to do with NAC is I put the grades of NAC from C to A++. And this red dot you can move as per your institution's liking. Now, the four phases that we normally see are establishment, growth, expansion, and maturity. All colleges will be in one of these four stages at any given point of time. And in that context, wherever you are, the important part is to understand that what we should do for quality thereafter. What has happened before, supposing I'm at this stage where the growth is finished and I need to now expand, then whatever has happened before is my input, already my input, whereas whatever I'm going to do across this is my process, and this dot is my expected outcome. So we will be essentially talking about this journey from one point to another, irrespective of which phase you are in, and quality improvement is needed. What is our ultimate goal is a little bit to be defined, which I will do so in my coming slides. So we are looking at continuous improvement as a primary reason for the internal quality assurance system, and the people responsible for that, or let us say the designated personnel, is the IQAC members. So continuous improvement, thinking about it, trying to find out what we need, what the institution needs, and how it can be done is the job of the IQAC. And therefore, we are looking at quality culture and its continuous improvement. Normally, all colleges take NAC accreditation as an event. एक सोहळ्यासारखं त्याचं एक आपण करतो की आता सोहळा होणार आहे, कॉलेजला रंग द्या, राईट, सगळ्या टीचर्सना ब्लेझर्स द्या, युनिफॉर्म्स द्या, चकाचक सगळं कॅम्पस. सो एक सोहळ्यासारखा तो प्रसंग असतो. तर वी डोंट वॉन्ट टू मेक इट अन इव्हेंट. So what we do is we try to benchmark NAC as the ultimate goal of continuous improvement, and we want to say that afterwards we will see what is going to happen about it. So that should not be our focus of for continuous improvement, and we should not consider this as the end and then think about quality culture, that we will do for 5 years quality culture and then next 5 years we'll see what to do. So this is not the right way to think. We should think of continuous improvement with what we have and what are our stages that we want to go through. And when we are 100% satisfied, then NAC will come by and by and we will get the accreditation. So there is no problem of not getting accreditation. The problem is, if we are going to improve, then where are we and what are we expected to do? So please do not consider NAC as an event. It is going to come with time, and therefore the NAC accreditation should be considered as a byproduct of the process of continuous improvement. Please note this, the IQAC has to understand this before they do anything, and all the stakeholders have to be involved. Now, continuous improvement means what? That we are developing quality systems. Most professional colleges, like we are talking, where this meeting is being hosted today at AISSMS, they are all professionally very well oriented. I have seen their website and everything. So it is a very well oriented system. They have all their systems in there. They say, or let us say that all institutes will say that yes, our quality has been enhanced. All right. And we have done some quality enhancement initiatives, but is the outcome assessed, right? And if we cannot enhance it remarkably, because at a certain stage of maturity, after maturity, it is very difficult to enhance. So can we sustain that? So three aspects. One is developing the quality systems, primary job. Second is to enhance the quality using these developed systems. And third is if there is no more enhancement possible for any XYZ reason, then we should be able to sustain that quality. And that is what we are talking about as continuous improvement. Now, this is a typical internal quality assurance system cycle, which begins somewhere and ends everywhere. So if we are starting at this nodal point of students coming in, because if there are no students, then we will not be able to run the whole system. So if the students are coming in, we are sometime going to take their feedback and ask them what is happening and then implement those. So we know their basic requirements, and accordingly we will give them not only our teaching learning, but we will also give them co-culture and extracurricular opportunities. We will also give them the internal administration processes which are needed. We are also talking about supporting them with the library, communication, paperless office. And of course, the major part is the teaching learning. But for all these processes, one thing we forget is that we need money. And where is this money going to come from? So if we don't, sometimes we say that the starting point is students, sometimes we say it is money, right? And this system has to be held up by the teachers and the administrative staff. So in this point, where are we going to interact and how this system is going to work for continuous quality improvement is what we are going to see. And that is the fundamental role of the IQAC, to see that continuous improvement is being deployed, implemented, and assessed. So I come to this focal point. We have been teachers for a very long time, administrators. There would be several principals in the forum today, and IQAC personnel and other teachers too. I want to ask the simple questions: that are our students our products, or are they our customers? Now I'm looking at these two because whenever we say it is the product of this institution, we are looking at our alumni. And we say that this is a product of AISSMS, and very proud to be that alumni. At the same time, we are providing the students with something for which they are paying us fees. So if you are looking at that 3 or 5 year journey with us, then they are customers. So how do we handle our students? Because they are paying us money to study and become the product. Now, this is a very strange situation. I would like to tell you here that the education system is the second most organized human resource development system in the world, following the defense. The defense services are the first organized human resource development, and our education system is the second. Now we are handling human resource to such a great level that we need to first understand whether students are our products or customers. If they are our customers, we must give them the best. And when we give them the best, whatever yield we get, that is the product, should be the best. So when we are supplying the best, we will get the best of the product. Now, when we are looking at the product, which is our ultimate outcome, we are looking at an active ingredient. For every product, there is an active ingredient, which is our subject knowledge and skills. How strongly are we giving that active ingredient? Then fillers and buffers to maintain the stability of the system. We are giving them fillers and buffers, which are our humanity attributes, social skills, and citizenship. And finally, we are packaging them to make them look good. They must be durable, and they must be sensitive to external influence. So if you are looking at a package, then most of our teaching learning processes give the active ingredient. Most of our capability enhancement gives the fillers and the buffers. And most of our career placement, career guidance, placement guidance, all this is fundamentally, or what we call as soft skills sometimes, is giving the packaging skills. So we are giving them all this, and therefore when they are our customers to receive it, they also should be satisfied. So a satisfied customer is the best product, is how I would call our students at the end of the process. Then coming to this very simple uh, term, IQAC. I have heard so many people calling this as IQAC. I don't know why they call it as IQAC, because IQAC means I'm a duck. A duck is normally a animal which quacks. So, but I am not quack. So please do not demean this word or this term. Call it the internal quality assurance cell. There are so many terms that we abbreviate. I'll just share one of them. If I ask somebody, sir, which committee are you a member of? He says sexual harassment committee. It is not sexual harassment committee, it's prevention of sexual harassment. Like, we are not used to saying long things. So don't say IQAC, say internal quality assurance cell. Now in here, the term quality assurance is one, and the linkage of I and Q, which I've underlined, is internal quality. So we are looking at quality assurance of the internal quality, and that cell is supposed to be functioning as an organized body. So lately, if you are looking at the previous system of IQAC, it was essentially considered to be a documentation committee, and it used to collect and do some teamwork and deliver it. Now in the new system, it has been called as the leadership. So we are looking at leaders in the internal quality assurance cell, and these leaders are coming from everywhere, all right, all across. So before we go into that, I would like to just reiterate the difference between quality assurance and quality control. Quality assurance we often take as uh, a different term as quality control. If we are looking at quality control, basically it's a Zen situation where one is interlinked with the other very, very cohesively. So quality control is fundamentally, if there is a process going on, then it focuses on identifying a defect. So validation of that system is required, and we focus on the defect and try to rectify that defect. Whereas verification, that is quality assurance, is to make a positive declaration that we are going to build a product that is now our student in a certain way, and that product is going to work in the outside world as per the expectations. Now, whose expectations? The expectations are of the customer. The customer of our product is the employer or the research institute or anywhere that the student is going to go out into the real world. So now when that product is to be made, as when we are considering our student as a product, then we have to have something which we have defined as the program outcome, course outcome, and program specific. These things are actually defining or making a positive declaration that this is the type of student that we are going to give out. And at the same time, when our students give us our feedback, saying that, sir, we don't need this, we need this in our system, then this customer is our student again. So this is a very complex situation of providing the required systems to the student, at the same time keeping in mind that the customer is rather the customer is not actually the student is going to be converted to a product. Now this is where the whole thing starts revolving and starts getting messy, but we will try to wrangle it out and put it into perspective in the next discussion. So this is formally that if I want to do this, then I must have the right cycle tools. So if you are looking at these tools, then these tools are fundamentally, you have to think about those tools. So you have to do some very strong brainstorming. You have to establish some standard processes. Okay, you have to establish some standard processes, and you have to benchmark, which is given on the left hand side of your screen. And the tools that we are talking about they can begin with strategic benchmarking. Now, benchmarking can only be done if we know the outside requirements. So actually, the process which we are talking about, these are the tools. There are 5 tools, and in between each the 2 tools, I have defined 4 processes. So the first process that we are looking at between student satisfaction, evaluation, and strategic benchmarking is feedback. So that is a feedback process on the basis of which you're doing benchmarking. The second is between process standardization and strategic benchmarking. When you know what to benchmark, then only can you standardize a process. So that is number 2. Then number 3 is the part between quality QMS certification. So that means I have to get my quality management system certified, and process standardization. So that process number 3 could, in very simple terms, be something like either ISO, or what we are doing as NAC accreditation, or what we are doing as NBA accreditation. So I'm getting my QMS certified. And after that, the fourth process, which is the most important, is the internal quality assurance. That is number 4. That after all this, is my quality still what I need? And that is going to be based on number 1 again, which is what I'm talking about as the process between student satisfaction and strategic benchmarking. So these are fundamentally the quality cycle tools that we need to use. Number 1 is strategic benchmarking, process standardization, the QMS certification, quality assurance, that is self-assurance, and the last is student satisfaction evaluation. So these are some of the quality cycle tools that the IQAC needs to really design. Now, when we are talking about the IQAC again, there are two questions which are very normally raised. What is the authoritative stature of the IQAC? Is the IQAC a statutory body? The answer is yes. The answer is definitely yes, because it has been, at least in Maharashtra, been regulated under the Maharashtra Universities Act. All affiliating universities also require it. The central government MHRD has put a gazette out on this. And if you are looking at the latest draft of the National Education Policy, then the internal quality assurance system has been given a role and responsibility. So there is no question about whether the IQAC is a statutory body or not in the organization. The second question which comes up very often is the IQAC higher than the CDC, or are they equal, or is the CDC lower? In no way is the CDC and the IQA, or the CDC lower to the IQAC. The CDC is always the governing body in the college, and the one of the members of the CDC is the IQAC coordinator. So by default, by ex officio, the IQAC coordinator is a member of the CDC, so the CDC will definitely supersede, or let us say be an advisory body for the IQAC and the remaining internal quality assurance system. So these two questions aside, if we are looking at the composition, then we have taken the participants from each and every hierarchical position, which is given on the left from top to bottom, beginning with the CDC and ending with the external members. So when we are looking at this portion, we should also see to it that we are taking gender equity. We are taking if we are taking a significant number of female, or let us say lady or girl participants or members in the IQAC at different levels. They could be student bodies, they could be the IQAC Central Committee, they could be the IQAC subcommittees or whatever. But we should ensure that the IQAC is made up of several layers within it, right, representing each and every layer of hierarchical structure. Now, today, what is the IQAC doing? Today, the IQAC is only doing record keeping. So all the records come to it, it manages the records, and when the NBA or the ISO or the NAC come, then these records are placed, and that's about it. So the event is over. Next 5 years, let's collect more data. In some very good systems, we see ERPs being used. These ERPs are being used. So collation and record keeping is the primary activity. Then if you look at the SSRs and the AQRs of several colleges, right, there we'll see that the IQAC organized several workshops and seminars and exhibitions, right? And these are all subject oriented. So that is not the job of the IQAC. The IQAC is not expected to do any workshop, seminar, or exhibition other than quality initiatives. So if it is a workshop for quality initiative, it will be taken. But if it is a workshop in mechanical engineering, it is not going to be taken as if it is subject oriented. This is what I'm getting at. So this is not what the IQAC should be doing. The IQAC should not be involved in magazine or annual function. It should not be involved in administrative work, right? Like going to the D or the joint D or anything. No, that is not the job of the IQAC. Yes, submitting the data for NAC, submitting the AQR, submitting the AISHE and checking it, That is okay, but otherwise it is not expected to do any other. It is not expected to collect information. The information collection should be done using a very efficient ERP or at different levels. And it is what it is doing now is that it is preparing the AQR and SSA. This is correct. It is expected to do that. Collecting information, yes, it is expected to do a little bit of that also. But this is what we are trying to do today, is to get away from the thinking part, and we are only doing the mechanical part. So that is not the correct approach that we should be taking. So what should the actually the IQAC be doing? I've told you what it should not be doing. So what should it be doing? It should be planning everything. Now, if you are looking at any system, then I should not be telling this to very established colleges. But we don't have written plans. We have plans in our heads that in the next 5 years, I want to build 3 buildings. But we don't have a written plan. We don't have a written plan for how we want to engage our alumni. We don't have a written plan about how our quality improvement strategy is going to be done. So this writing down the plan and the policies is a primary job of the IQAC in conjunction with all other stakeholders or related stakeholders. So we are expected to development systems. Besides writing the policy, the SOPs also have to be written. After that, when you put that into practice, then we should be able to do our own self-assessment. I have seen the SSS of many colleges. They have put it on their website, and these generally are very much close or nearly the same as the SSS which has been put up by NAC. Now, I'm going to come to that later, and I will show you that what is wrong with that. Okay, so it is not advisable to put that straight away, right? So this self-assessment, either as feedback or as what we call sometimes as the academic and administrative audit, should also be done. Data analysis should be done. Nowadays, data analysis is a buzzword. So many data analytics are needed everywhere, right? So data analysis should be done. Then the gap analysis should be done, and gap filling also should be done. Now, all these 3 or 4, we put under the aspect of assessment for quality improvement. So finding the gap is assessing where we need it, and then comparing it to our benchmark, which is also a part of our goal setting. Then we come to benchmarking. So this is the process that every IQAC should really be thinking of. And in this context, all these systems should be in place, not just written, but in execution also. Then why is it so difficult? If this is so simple, where it looks like just prepare documents, carry out an academic audit. The difficulty is that when the outcome is very complex, that means that if one thing depends on a lot of things, for example, our examination results could depend on a lot of things. Number 1, change in syllabus. Number 2, number of students appearing. Number 3, the quality of students coming in this year. Number 4, the types of questions set. Number 5, were there any problems in that question paper and assessment? All these are, it's a very complex, many factors amounting to one point, and that one point is just a number, that 90%, 92 out of 100 marks. Now, when the measuring should be simple, right? When the outcome is complex. So when the outcome is supposed to be very complex, the measuring is expected to be simple, and that is where data analytics is needed, right? On what factor and why are our results low? Are we analyzing them? And do I want them to be low, or do I want them to be high? The second is institutional systems of governance are firmly in place. This is something which we know. Joint director and state government issues an order. That order is followed by the institutional governance, governing body. It comes down to the principal. It comes down to the heads of department. It comes down everywhere. And it is very difficult to go against the tide or against the flow and try to make changes in, because they are very firmly in place. This cannot be done. Nobody can ask why. Then there is an apathy and resistance to change. Chalu de na, kai wait hai. That this is our problem, that apathy to change. And I think it is probably a jolt like COVID-19, which is now going to make us change, because we have to change, otherwise we will not exist. So this apathy to and resistance to not foreseeing something, right? Then the next is lethargic attitude. If you are looking at these Facebook things today, you will see many, I'm not saying the teachers in the audience necessarily, but I have seen so many of my junior teachers. I am now retired, but whoever is now teaching in many colleges around Maharashtra, you will see that they're doing a lot of other things than thinking about teaching. They're showing that they can write, they can draw, they can cook, they can dance. But are they really things? So this lethargic attitude, jab khulega tab dekhenge, that is something we must get out of. And if it is going to be a jolt, then there is resistance, right? Then delay in implementation of an idea. If one of us gets a very good idea and we try to implement it, by 5 years, after 5 years, somebody will say, now you implement it, right? And by the time I am tired of doing anything and I don't want to continue. So delay in implementation, lethargic attitude, apathy and resistance, institutional governance. And this measuring to make it simple when the outcome is complex is the difficulty in our IQAC mentality, or let us say the whole mentality of the institution in improving or continuous improvement. So what should the IQAC's attention be? These are the many things that are there. I'm not going to list them now. I'm not going to read them. I'm going to discuss them one by one. So we are going to look at these. Now, these are essentially processes. Okay. These are not numbers. These are essentially processes. So in the next two slides, I'm going to show you some things where this quality involvement is there with these particular processes. So the first one is benchmarking. Now, when I say benchmark, the word benchmark is setting a standard. Now, when I'm setting a standard, first of all, I must have what we call as a key performance indicator, which I have outlined here as KPI. Now, KPI essentially is the key performance indicator, and this is how I can map them. This is a very simple method of mapping it, and this is an XY graph where the Y is the value that for that which you have given, and X is the time. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to do here is, let us take an example, very simple example of examination results. My examination marks can be maximum 100%. My target which I have set for my program or my course is 70%, which is distinction. At least, okay, that's my target. My baseline here is 40%. That is the minimum any student gets, and a minimum baseline, and the minimum is something in history. If you're looking down at here, historical values, where one of or two of my students have got about 2 marks out of 100 somewhere in historical times. So that is my lowest performance over a period of time. And then when I planning horizon, when I take my planning horizon, I'm taking, let us say, 5 years as my planning horizon, or 10 years, whatever data I want to establish. Now my values are going to change as per year or as per semester or as per term. And ultimately this is my year, and it is going to keep on going and going. So at this point of time, when I gauge my performance and progress, then I can say that the value minus the minimum, maximum minus the minimum, is my performance in percent, and value minus baseline, target minus baseline is my progress in. So this is a very simple way of defining performance. I told you complexity, right? When I'm thinking complexity, if somebody asks me, what is your progress? I can say that this is the formula that I have used, and this is an established process. When the horizon changes, right, then this will be taken further, and it can be for 10 years or it can be for the next 5 years. And then I can compare both of them. So what is the overall performance of the KPI is in performance and progress. So please note, to what extent was the target achieved is my progress, and what is the overall performance is my performance. So these are two things which we can do. This is just one example. There are many methods to evaluate KPIs. The next question is what to benchmark. All right. Now, what I mean is, what area of improvement do I want to benchmark? Do I want to benchmark how many extension activities, or do I want to benchmark how many students are participating in those activities, right? So I want to do that. Who to benchmark? What to benchmark rather? I can also benchmark my collaborations, that in the next 5 years, I want to increase my collaborations. I want to increase my, let us say, placement. All right. So these are things about what to benchmark. And when I'm doing this benchmarking, right, I want to do the best that is possible within my particular institution. Then who to benchmark? Who to benchmark means if there is an engineering college which is next door, and if they are getting better placement, right? Why are they getting better placement is what I want to find out. And that is means that I want to benchmark the engineering college that is next to my college, which is getting a better placement. So that is what I'm trying to benchmark. When I say who, so I'm doing a similar one. Do I want to do it state level, national level, international level? So I can do it at 3 levels of benchmarking when I say who to benchmark. Then collection of data for benchmarking. That means I have to actually look at what are the processes that these particular what to benchmark and who to benchmark characters or aspects involve. Collect all that data. So this collection of data is fundamentally researching those institutions and those processes and trying to find out why they are successful. And then when I'm trying to find out why they're successful is what I'm calling as analyzing my data. And then on that basis, I'm putting forward a strategy, which I showed in my previous slide as planning. And then I implement those improvements over that time horizon, which I've done. And at the end, I will measure my progress and my performance. Now I can do an intermittent uh, performance and progress check also. All right. So then I can find out. So this is fundamentally how you do benchmarking. Benchmarking is a topic which can require 3 to 5 hours to actually explain in detail. But these are the fundamental steps how you benchmark. Then what is quality benchmarking? So I was just talking about this. I'll elaborate on this. How well are we doing compared to others? So that is what I mean by quality in benchmarking, that how well am I doing compared to others? This I will get. How good do we want to be, right, is another thing. What, who is doing it the best? How are they doing it? How can we adopt or adapt what they are doing? And how can we be better than the best? So these are some things which we must consider as our primary questions, right, before we really even think of setting a benchmark. So please note that benchmarking becomes the primary job of the IQAC. I've seen a few colleges which say that our latest course is our benchmark. Because of benchmarking, we have introduced our latest score. And after 3 to 4 years, when you see the results for that course, it is the lowest. So now you have to question yourself, if this course has got the lowest entry, lowest enrollment and lowest results, how did you benchmark it as a quality benchmark? So some things of this sort also we must be looked into. Now, these are two slides which are going to come one after the other. These are some numbers which are asked everywhere. NBA, NAC, ISO, all these numbers are asked. So these numbers are something which you cannot fiddle with. Full-time teachers against sanctioned posts. You cannot do anything about it. It's done, it's done. But the next slide is actually going to be more important. You can read it at your leisure. But these are what our quality aspects are. If you are looking at the quality aspects, then these quality aspects are what we are really looking at. And the first one on the top, if you are looking at very, very carefully, is student satisfaction survey. Good practices or best practices, identifying advanced low learners, all these are our. Now, these are based on NAC accreditation. And I have in the inset taken these 27 according to their criteria. And if you're looking at the criteria, then criterion 2 has the maximum quality oriented processes, right? And criterion 2, as you all know, is teaching, learning and evaluation. So our core processes basically need a lot of quality orientation. So please note that this is what it is. And the last, but if you're looking at, this is a sort of irony. that the last one is perspective and strategic planning, and this is what the IQAC must be doing first. Why is it rated low? Is because it is a given thing that without a strategic and perspective plan, no institution can function. So therefore, it has to be there, and if it is not there, nothing else will work. So therefore, being a given, it has been given the least marking, or let us say weightage. Okay, coming to the next slide. I'm coming to now each of the ones which I talked about after benchmarking. The perspective, strategic plan, task team, and system. So what do you do in your perspective plan? Perspective plans are of two types, the short-term and the long-term development plan. To put an analogy to it, our SSR is our long-term and AQAR is our short-term. So now if you have looked at the AQAR of the NAC, which has been published in April 2020, it is absolutely very, very close to our SSR. So in the future, all these AQARs put together are going to determine what your SSR looks like. And it is possible that NAC or any HRD ministry body, now they are going to have 4 different ones. They are not going to ask you for information. They are just going to take your AQRs. They're going to take the information from the joint director. They're going to take it from the university. And all this data which is available on your website is what they're going to take and assess you and say that, okay, you have been either accredited or not accredited. So it is going to be a very, very important to see that your short-term programs, development plans are also equally strong as your long-term, right? And your deployment plan, therefore, by the IQAC has to be very, very structured, that in the next 5 years, every year we are going to do that. So what is our plan? What is our goal? And what is our strategy? The task teams have to be very well prepared that they are going to at least work for the next 5 years or 7 years. We don't want task teams to be changed every semester. Otherwise, they will not have any cohesive nature. The next is the systems. What are our systems of reporting? Today, our reporting systems are very haphazard. And that is why many of our teachers complain that some committee asked us this information. Another committee also asked us the same information. And IQAC is also asking us the same system. So the reporting and reviewing systems must be in place very strongly, right? And therefore, if you, I don't know how many of you are have attended a meeting recently conducted by RUSA, but RUSA Maharashtra is giving free software for collating data for that. So if you are on that platform, you can write to them, you can actually register with RUSA and they will give you that. It has been prepared in Nashik, that the one of the colleges in Nashik, it is an engineering college, and their computer science department has actually prepared that. It involves both data inputs and getting the reports that are required. So if you can upload that, and it is uploadable, and it just has to be downloaded onto your, and you can upload it at any time. There are different levels of admin levels given so that there is no interference of data. But this is something which you need to do. Then communication, record keeping, and interaction with stakeholders. Now, interaction with stakeholders is the most important. When we want to talk about placement, when we want to talk about progression, we need to keep a constant interaction with our stakeholders. Otherwise, once they leave the college, it is difficult to find out where they have gone and where they have been placed, right? And that is why involvement in students right from day one becomes absolutely necessary. So your task team should also contain students, all right? So this is something to do with perspective plans and how they are going to be deployed. The next is, what are these policies? Policies, I have grouped them into 3 categories. The first one here is for students. And these are not all of them. These are just some representative and important ones. Admission policy. What is your admission policy? Then what is your student support systems? What is your grievance redressal policy? What is your evaluation and assessment policy? Placement and mentoring. So these are policies which should be available in a policy manual and also be available on your college website so that it is in the open domain and for all stakeholders to see. These are for your teachers and your teaching community, the second one on the right. What are the new programs you have introduced? What is your academic delivery? What we are talking about as teaching plans, etc. What is the teaching pedagogy? What is ICT integration? It is going to become very important now. How do you evaluate and assess? Now that comes in both places if you notice. Recruitment, how are you doing it? Are you recruiting as full-time? Are you recruiting as non-aided? Are you recruiting as in self-finance courses? How are you recruiting? What is your performance appraisal system? What is your research, collaborations and concerns? People should be very much aware of performance appraisal and its conditions and outcome. We didn't know that we are going to be assessed every year, and on that basis whether we are going to be continued or not is going to be done. We didn't know that. So in your recruitment itself it must be told. So all these policies must be there, and these are the common policies that we have: capacity building of students and teachers, feedback on audits on both all stakeholders, and welfare schemes for both. So all stakeholders should have their own welfare schemes, feedback and audits on all stakeholders, and infrastructure, of course, capacity building for everybody. So all this is going to be coming into your policy manuals. Then feedback. Feedback is fundamentally a method of indirect evidence, correct? So it is not a direct evidence. Like if I have done my PhD, I show my certificate, it is direct evidence. But if I don't have my certificate, then how do I show that I'm a PhD? Right? That is my issue. So if I'm saying that, okay, this is my thesis.
Sir.
Yes, sir. Hello. Okay. The feedback. What is the difference between feedback and student satisfaction survey? Feedback is very pointed. Okay. The reason is because feedback is pointed in one way, and that is that when I'm talking about feedback, I have a question in mind. And when I have a student satisfaction survey, right, I have several questions in mind, right, which are related to a major issue, and I'm taking an opinion, right? In feedback, more or less, right, there are directed questions. For example, at the end of this session, right, or at the end of this webinar series, there is going to be a feedback given to you. And possibly it may be asked that, what more do you want out of all this? All right. Asking a question, how did you like the webinar? The answer could be that the resource persons were very good or very bad, or the material that was given, we knew about it. But if I ask a very pointed question that what more do you want, it means that when you answer that question, you have listened to everything. Now that is the difference between feedback and student satisfaction survey. What is the method? The method in both is asking intelligent questions. It should be structured that when I'm asking a student something, it should be structured so that the student understands. If I'm asking a teacher something, it should be structured so that it is more comprehensible to the teacher. It should be deployed with care, because when I'm saying that I want to take a student's feedback, there is usually a question that those students who do not attend class, how can they give a feedback on the teacher? Right? So the answer to that is take the feedback of everybody, and within your policy, decide that only the feedback of students who have been present for 75% of the classes at least, their feedback will be considered as valid. You take everybody's, but put this rider onto it, put this filter, so that only the relevant feedback is there. So you need to deploy with care. You need to train your students. I will tell you an example after this about where you need this train, and the tangible deliverables should be there. I gave that to you in the first question. How was the seminar? It was good. And what more do you need, or what did you not get, or what we want the organizers to do? So we collect, we analyze, and then we take action. So the college will then take action next time whether to call Dr. Bhode or not, right? If the tangible deliverables in Dr. Bhode's the session were not enough or were not up to expectation, then the action that will be taken is don't call him next time, and he doesn't know about it, right? So this is what we are talking about. But I always like to have negative feedback. The reason for that is I know where I need to improve. So negative feedback, or let us say feedback where something is lacking, is not negative feedback. Feedback is feedback. Okay. Now, these are some questions. We have all seen the questions in the student satisfaction survey. These are some questions which which are worth reconsidering. Just imagine question number 2. The question number 2 states, how well did the teachers prepare for the classes? The answers that are given in multiple choice are thoroughly, satisfactorily, poorly, and indifferently. And the fifth one is very strange. Won't teach at all. How is teachers' preparation exhibited by the fact that won't teach at all? Now, you might smile at this at the present moment, but it means that I have brought it to your notice maybe right now. And therefore, if the students are going to be faced with this question, if they don't answer it, right? If they don't answer it, that is going to be an invalid survey response, and it is going to be negated from the system. Similarly, you look at the 8th question. The teaching and mentoring process in your institution facilitates you in cognitive, social, and emotional growth. As teachers, how do we know directly that what is cognitive growth in a student? Do we know that? Have we got any method to measure
वेळ आहे ना
that?
पिल्लू 5 वाजता.
Okay. How do we know that the student has understood something? Have we asked any question throughout the tests that the student has really understood something, right? Or he has grown emotionally? And that is in the teaching and mentoring process. So the mentoring process might be related to emotional growth. But if the student does not come in front of you and the student is answering this, not you. So this has to be trained, right? Then there are some questions, right? For example, the 15th question, which no institution, I don't think so anybody does this. The institution makes efforts to engage students in the monitoring, review, and continuous quality improvement of the teaching learning process. Do we do that? So that means that do we continuously take the feedback on teaching learning process? Do we take it continuously, because it is written continuous quality improvement? Do we review it and do we take action accordingly? Now, if the students say neutral, they don't know, then our question becomes scored at 2, and that will bring our score down. So these are some things which we must actually train our students to understand, right? I've just given you a few questions here. Next, we go to something which is audits. Now, I'm not going to talk about types of audits and meta audits and etc. I'm just going to tell you that what are we doing in the audits that are intended by the IQAC. Number 1 is primary, the quality assessment through self-evaluation. Now, self-evaluation means that setting up a system, what we may call as an academic and administrative audit. And when we say self-evaluation, we must be true to ourselves that whatever we evaluate, we will consider it in a positive way. So there is no demeaning किंवा कोणाला वर्चस्व दाखवायचे किंवा डाचे पाहिजे असं काही नाहीये त्याच्यात. It is taking a neutral audit and finding areas where improvement is possible. You cannot tell a particular department that तुमच्याकडे आता स्टुडंट स्ट्रेंथ इतकी कमी आहे, आता वाढवा. पण तुम्ही सांगा ना कशी वाढवायची, right? So this is something which the IQAC needs to do. They must tell the way in which it can be improved, not just say do it. Okay, so for that the academic administrative audit is there. Financial audits we understand, but one thing in financial audits we don't understand is how have we budgeted it and how has this budget been mobilized according to need. Because what we understand of a financial audit is an audited statement on paper stamped by the CA or the chartered accountant or the AG's office or somebody, and they say okay, पैसे जेवढे आले तेवढे खर्च केले, जिथे करायला पाहिजे होते तिथे केले. असं नाहीये. त्याच्यात तुम्ही काय त्याच्यात मोडॅलिटीज वापरल्या आणि ते कसे योग्य प्रमाणे तुम्ही वापरलं. So optimal utilization of funds is what has to be reflected in the financial audit. Then there is a green audit. Green audit is essentially a part of environmental audit. Now, environmental audit is fundamentally based in something called as the environment impact assessment. So instead of going into the whole thing, they're only expecting you to do the environmental audit, which includes both waste management and eco-friendliness. So when we say green audit, we should include both of them. And then there is the energy audit. Basically, energy audit fundamentally leads up into the bigger area of carbon footprinting. So now our energy audit is fundamentally energy utilization and methods of saving or saving on energy which we buy from the outside. So it's things like solar panels, saving on energy using fixtures or automated switches in the rooms. When you go out, everything switches off on its own, etc., etc. And ultimately the gender audit. So gender audit essentially talks about responsibilities which are given gender wise. Right now, when we say gender audit, it does not mean that how many teachers, lady teachers have been given are heads and how many gender. It is not that. What is the gender equity being facilitated through the gender audit? So gender equity, equality are the two key words when we talk about gender audits. And all these three audits, all the audits can be done internally also. The only one which can really not be done in an engineering college, I don't know, right? But if the engineering college has an electrical engineering department, which most of them have, then the energy audit is also can be done in-house. All right, that this is how we did our energy audit. So all these can really be done in-house or can be done using external certification. So these are what we are talking about the audits. But in concern today, I'm only going to talk about the academic and administrative audit. What does it do? It actually helps in measuring change over time. A very small diagram I have shown. This is my first AQR at this lowest point, second AQR, third one, fourth one, fifth one. If you see the third one, or the let us say the fourth one, this I have put a purposeful dip in it because of this COVID-19 situation. So my AQR for 1920 may not be as strong, right, as the previous one, right? And therefore it might fall short. But then again, I have to raise it up, and therefore my net increase will be from here to here. So this net increase is fundamentally what I want to check. And if you had seen the KPI, that is essentially progress and performance. So my progress and performance can also be done through the academic audit. And there are some very basic questions which we need to ask. What does the program want to achieve? So there are four purviews of that. The management might say something different. Principal will say something different. Staff will say something different and stay. But I want to, in a combined manner, ask everybody that what my program wants to achieve. And that becomes my benchmark. And that begins my perspective planning. The second is this program need-based? That means, was it always in vogue? It is very much in demand, so I started it. Is it identified by the global market? It is identified by the employers or the alumni. So is it need-based? If it is not need-based, it might not work. Whether the outcome is clear to everyone and are those outcomes attainable? So I must be able to outline very attainable outcomes, right? So clarity is very necessary for measuring success of a program. It must be clear that if I have 20 mechanical engineers coming out of my college every year, right, then at least 19 should be employable and one should become an entrepreneur. So if my clarity is very successful, I'm very clear about my success, then this is what I do. And then when I actually assess them for the attainment, when I have this success in my mind, I can easily do that. How many went here and how many went there? And that means that that is basically an internal examination for the program. It is like the institution taking its own exam that whether I have passed, not whether the student has passed, but whether I have passed as an institution. Then the next thing is the curriculum delivery effective? I'm not saying whether the curriculum delivery is good. I'm saying whether it is effective, whether it has been passed on to the receiver or the customer, as we have called the student. And that is what is important, not only giving lots of timetables and lots of that. So we will need to actually take a lot of feedback on curriculum delivery being effective. Then whether useful linkages exist in increasing learning experience. Learning experience is not only on campus, it could be out of campus, online, offline. right? Or in real time or virtual time. So whenever this learning experience is there, I'm talking about so many things together, of which the last two are very important: sharing of resources and promotion of research. By research, I don't necessarily mean you get lots of funds and do a lots of research. The promotion of research could also be increasing the research aptitude or the analytical ability and data analysis abilities of students. So how do they actually look at the next 20 years for industrial engineering, right? This is what I'm trying to look at when I'm looking at a technical institution. And for that, I need linkages with industry, with different online platforms, with several invited or visiting lecturers. Nowadays, you see a host of a plethora of things going on online, and people are just talking and talking and talking. So this is also a learning experience. Do the teachers upgrade themselves consistently, not continuously, consistently? So this is what we do. But of these, the most important two are the ones which is number 3, external certification, and number 5, interaction with industry, which is given here. Right now, external certification is that can I actually learn data analytics and then become a certified data analytics person? Or with my interaction with industry, can I have some patents or can I have some collaborative projects in which I will update myself as a teacher? Whether program coordinators conduct activity for capability enhancement of students. Now, I have only taken 3 of them. The first 3 are subject to our curriculum, and the last one is co and extracurricular activities. Now, we need to understand what co-curricular activities are: those which supplement curricular activities or our subject orientation. And extracurricular activities could be anything in sports, cultural activities, social work, ISR, etc. So all these things we have to do for capability enhancement. If you remember, I had told you about fillers and buffers. Now, these are the fillers and buffers that we are talking about in our product, right? Add-on courses, employability skills, transferable skills, right? So these are our fillers and buffers. And learning resources, are we giving them enough? So basically, online access, usage of online access, e-resources, plenty of them are there. And if you look at it, I had looked up AISSMS's access. They have access to everything practically, right from Swayam to lots of data, e-resources that they have, databases. So this type of access to students can be facilitated to everybody, all stakeholders, and that will be a very good resource. Besides what I'm talking about as resources in infrastructure and etc. Then we come to the last part, that after doing all this, what is my output? Do we achieve our expected outcomes? Did we achieve our expected outcomes as we had planned or desired? Did we attain our POCO? Then more tangible our examination results, still more tangible our progression, and the last but not the least and the most tangible is our placement. So if I can say that out of 20 students, 19 were placed, right, then that becomes a very strong outcome. In progression, if I say that from my BE to ME, so many people went or so many got employed. So this is what I'm meaning by my output. So my fundamental, or let us say most tangible outcomes, are these 4 things. So if you are focusing everything towards this, then we can answer this question. Then are your students satisfied, which becomes the end, right, of the whole story, that after that, even if I've got placement, some things were not really good. So this feedback, which I have explained earlier, can be taken very specifically, and that is what we call as an exit feedback from the institution. Okay. Now, before I go ahead, there is one thing I want to tell you. This is how in NAC scoring, every small metric that we are looking at. Now, this I've taken NAC as a background. Okay. But every small score that you put up and you evaluate, how can it lead for continuous improvement? So I have taken a very simple example of a college which had scored B++ with a CGPA of 2.92. And then I went on adding, as per the weightage of the criterion, the score. So +9, I added in criterion 1. And so on I went on. If you're looking at the second criterion, which has the maximum quality processes, I've included 13 in that because the scoring is relatively higher at 350 in NAC, right? So I've added more proportionately. And if you look at this, it keeps on increasing. And if I do these small steps and I end up with 48 score added across 7 criteria, I can go from B++ to A, right? And this 48 actually only represents 4.8% improvement over 5 years, right? So over 5 years, if I can take myself over 48 score improvement, I can go easily go from B++ to A. Now 4.8% improvement over 5 years, if I plan it for 1 year 4%, then I will get 4% into 5, 20%. Imagine where you will go from B++, you could end up with A++. So, these types of things you should also be planning when you're looking at academic audits. And this scoreboard can be changed, but the philosophy will remain the same. Then teaching learning, we are talking about innovative pedagogy, etc., etc. But the most common thing that we are talking about today is ICT integration. So ICT integration for adaptability is what we are talking about. Okay. So innovative pedagogy is what we are really talking about today. And that is what I think for the next few years at least, right, the IQAC should be planning. Then what is this IQAC ICT integration? These are everything that are available. The National Digital Library, Swayam, virtual labs, simulations, and all this on the background of the post-COVID-19 world. This is where ICT integration has to be very strongly taken on by the institution. And please remember that if you're media rich, if you have all this, it does not mean that you're mind rich. I mean, I have in my library at home maybe 1,000 books, but if I don't open any one, then my mind cannot get rich. So I must actually tell my students to start using them, and by telling my students to use them, I must actually try to introduce them to something like OBTs, open book test, that you read these 10 books in this open resources and give me a preview or a review, and that review is going to be assessed for a continuous assessment. Then less is more. When they write the review, they should be very concise, coherent, and coordinated. Now, this is what is going to help them outside. Avoid ear and eye candy, not too many pictures, just more and more pictures, and we get frightened. If you're looking at all the COVID publicity going on, they give a picture which is 11 days old and they frighten you with it today. So avoid all these kinds of things which don't actually matter at all. Redundancy effect, giving the same thing over and over and over again. Try to be innovative to some kind. And animation and text, if you use a very good combination of things, then I think ICT can be very much, we are used to text a lot, but if I can animate or add some things into it, for example, simulation or virtual labs, then it will be more effective and we can use better systems. Now for effective curriculum delivery, right, we have all this in place, all right? We have all this in place. This is for the written process, right? But the center of all this again comes to teaching and learning methods. So all our outcomes, irrespective of whether we have a timetable or a teaching plan or a result or the feedback, whatever we have, the fundamental thing is the teaching learning method. And this teaching learning method has to be seriously reviewed. And for that, that will actually determine the outcome. Just imagine that if a teacher is teaching without a timetable, right? That I will be taking my class. I'm going to teach from home now, suppose. So if I have posted my YouTube or whatever on that, then there is no timetable existing. Whenever the students want, there'll be a gross timetable. In 1 month, this is our portion. So our teaching plan will not be very accurate to the day or to the time. Our results will come in a different way, and our feedback and analysis will have to be different. So our teaching learning methods changes all this, but the outcomes remain the same. So please note that the curriculum delivery mechanism, though it has changed, the outcome and the teaching learning methods are still the focus. And this is what the IQAC to do. And what are we going to train them for besides the subject matter is self-awareness. How much aware are they about what is going on everywhere? empathy. We have no sympathy with them, but we will empathize that they are on a different platform. Then in some areas there is not good network, so they can't access, and all these things. Then we have to give them critical thinking, creative thinking, decision making. All these have to be included in our teaching learning methods now, right? So this is something which we have to look for in life skills. Learning outcomes I have told you, but in that learning outcomes, data needed, the mapping has to be done, and the trends have to be set. So these three are the important parts, that is data, mapping, and trends, right? So in this, all these on the right, progression, success in qualifying examination, placements, examination results, and attainment, the data is necessary, the mapping is necessary, and the trends are necessary. Coming to collaboration and linkages, formal long-term linkages are necessary. Memorandum of understanding and memorandum of associations are necessary. And alumni associations are also necessary. So our linkages should range between formal linkages, collaborations, and alumni engagement. Now, all these three need to be thought out. There is one question that how much money has the uh, uh, alumni given you? Why will alumni give you money if you don't want it for a particular purpose? So projects for alumni donation should also be thought about by the IQAC. Professional development, everybody knows, but this is something to be taught about, especially use of new technology and e-content development and new teachers, new topics. So in-house PDPs become necessary today. Then for a simple thing like mentoring, we need to decide the policy, right? Why we are doing it. We have to train our mentors, because now mentoring is going to be a little bit more difficult, because it is not going to be face to face necessarily. It has to be accountable and it has to be documented, right? We have to obtain feedback again and gap finding. So this process, why I put up this slide, everybody knows what it is. But why I put up this slide is because everything is involved with that, right from policy to feedback and gap finding. So all this has to be again thought out by the IQAC. Opportunities for research involved a lot of things. I have told you this before, but we need to define first the thrust areas and our specialty. We need to try to get grants, research proposals, and this. So training for all the three is also going to be required. Ideation or innovation is something which is a little bit vague, but in cases of technical institutions, engineering colleges, etc., or polytechnics, it is easier because they have an engineering background where a product can be innovative. Else, it could be just an idea which is put into, let us say, the teaching learning, what new things you can do, what new types of extracurricular or social activities you can do. So these innovative ideas can be taken up, and this can be put on a platform. Social risk, ISR I was talking about. So ISR is social responsibility, extracurricular activities, and employee or welfare. So these are some of the things that which should be also be thought out, but these are normally thought about by the respective committees once you know what they are doing always. Documentation becomes important, right? And in the new accreditation system, authenticity, objectivity, transparency, accountability is very important. And since we have internal, or let us say online evaluation, there can be no excuse for not having updated everything at every given moment of time. So IQAC does not have to think about what to do. It has to more about think about indexing, or let us say how I am going to arrange my soft copies to become accessible, right? And of course, when the documents are ready, there is no problem. But when they have to be created, it becomes a problem. So all this is a flow chart to show how the IQAC should think, which documents, where are they available, and what are the source, right? This is one special note, that the IQAC does not do these things. It does not conduct events. It does not govern the organization. It does not collect funds. It does not conduct examination, and it does not prepare college magazines. Please note this. IQAC cannot take credit for this, right? So sometimes IQAC say, what did we do? We conducted seven seminars, right? And all of them were subject oriented. Or we called an alumni meeting. Alumni meeting is to be called by the alumni association, not by the IQAC. So these some things are not to be done, and IQAC cannot claim credit for it. And what are the challenges today? I have told some lethargic part to it, but here the major challenges are these, that the framework which we have been looking at are not embedded in real institutional quality culture. For example, the number of PhDs in a department does not necessarily tell you that that department is performing well. Okay. Or the number of students enrolled for a particular program does not necessarily tell you that the outcome of this program is going to be phenomenal. All right. Then there is something called as evaluation fatigue, that the moment you start this process of thinking that I have to evaluate myself, you go into a mental tension, right? This evaluation starts, right? So these are some of the challenges which you can look at, right? And you will believe that these are things. And one of the other important ones here is the insignificant participation of students, right? And why we don't have that is we blame it on the student population. They never come to college. The quality of students coming to our institution are not very good. So don't blame it on them. Try to make them better. I know it is difficult, but it can be done. So this is my last slide. And in summary, therefore, the IQS is expected to be specific. It should be able to measure things which are attainable and relevant and time-based. Okay. So this is what it is. If you have any questions, I'll be ready to answer them. Thank you very much for a very patient listening. And I hope I have finished on time. We can spend some time, 10 minutes or so, in the question answer session.
Thank you, sir. A very nice and informative session. Sir, can I take few questions from
Yes,
participants?
please, sir, please.
First question.
Yes.
How to plan for bridging the gap between academic curriculum and industry requirements?
Okay. I think this question has got two ways in which you see it. Number one is to look at it first from the industry requirement and trying to put it into curriculum, which is very difficult, right? So every board of studies has got people from the industry involved in it, but they don't usually contribute too much. So the second approach is possible, that if I know what the industry requirements are and I know what my syllabus is, there would be a gap in between the two. Now this gap should be filled by our add-on programs or bridging situations. So you can give them capability enhancement programs within the institution which will bridge this gap. And this can be done with the help of your alumni or industry academia interface. That can help you definitely.
Okay, sir, thank you. One more question, sir. Can you throw some light on how to conduct academic and administrative audits?
Okay. Administrative audit is fundamentally, I will tell you about the administrative audit. It has got two parts. Number one is the financial audit, and number two is the administrative work, what we call as governance. So both these should be checked. For the financial audit is usually budgeting and resource allocation, which is what is done by as per norms of the institution, norms of the government, and norms of maybe AICTE in case of engineering. Okay. Whereas the governance which is there is done by the society or the Sangh or the education body that is running that institution. Now, how does it give the responsibility? What is the responsibility given and what is the accountability? This is what we are checking in the, let us say, administrative audit in two parts, financial and governance. And in the academic audit, we need to, like I showed you 8 questions, you need to first of all pinpoint the questions that you want to answer and then find parameters to assess them, right? It is a very big thing, but if the person in question would like to ask me this in detail, you can email me, give me a reference of this, and I will send you a short format of what is to be done. From that, you can elaborate for your institution. Fundamentally, it identifies the performance parameters, it identifies the data collection sheet for it, and it identifies the evaluation for it. And on the basis of the evaluation, a score sheet is generated. And on the basis of that score sheet, when you have already identified the level to which it has to be achieved, you get a dashboard saying that whether you have achieved it or not. Okay, so these are the 4 parts of the academic audit. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. One question, sir. A teaching learning frame which we are following in India.
Yes.
Similar teaching frame is followed in other countries like America?
No, sir. In America, I've been to the Canadian system very long back, but their system is very different. They operate on a very flexible term, right? And that flexible term is that they operate on credit systems. So
Yes.
anyone can take any credit, and there are 2 regular terms, right? There is one summer term and one spring term, which are the regular terms. And there is one summer term where the term can be taken for students who have not got the credits which are taken earlier, right? So in my class, I had taken 2 months classes for environmental engineering students, in fact, on wastewater treatment from the biology point of view. So in my class, I had gone in the summer. I had got students who had not finished those credits in the previous terms, right? And they were from all over the US and from Canada. So they had come together to only attend those 20 classes, and then they went away and took that credit. I took their exams complete, finish. So it is more based on internal evaluation rather than external evaluation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Can I take one more question?
Please, sir, please. You can take as many as you are allowed to.
Okay, thank you. How to motivate and how to engage students in online programs? Because after COVID-19 situation.
Yes. There is only one way that we can motivate our Indian students, and that is to attach marks to it. That is the only way. I have found out, I mean, my 37 years of teaching, everything else will work, right? If it is not marks. That means I can actually talk to them, they will say yes, etc., etc. But when they come for the test, their performance is not good. So if I say that these marks are going to be included in your continuous internal evaluation and going to be reported as a part of your final examination, then they take it seriously. So the only way you can do it is to give marks for that examination, which will be taken in the finals.
Okay, sir.
Bola, sir.
Any
Bormane sir,
questions?
bola.
Good afternoon, Bole
Good
sir.
afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
It's really, very much thankful, sir. You are going very wonderful and very nice presentation. Every participant is very happy, and you have thrown light on many aspects, and really will get benefit of this in the coming future. Just I have 1 or 2 questions. Just I see.
Yes, sir. Please.
One of a participant is interested to know about NAC is talking about the slow learner, advanced learner. So in
Yes,
the same
sir.
class, we have
Yes, sir.
categorization of slow and learner.
Yes, sir.
It is little bit a challenge to address combinedly slow and advanced learner.
Yes,
So
sir. Definitely.
what is the effective pedagogy for this, and what type of care the teacher should take?
Sir, I will tell you a very easy way. There's a very easy way to it. If you go on to Google, right, and you actually Google IQ test for advanced and slow learners, it is a 20-mark test which the students can take online. And at the end of the test, the students are actually categorized. And they're also giving a report as to what type of advancement or what type of bridging these students need who are weaker. And for the advanced students, they also suggest, right, which types of challenges they should be given. For example, if I have an advanced student, that student may not be very good at writing. So how do I challenge him by writing? So I can give him a review like thing. Actually, I have used this for my postgraduate students about 8 to 9 years back.
Okay.
Right? And I have given them those specific tests for specific students only twice in the year after identifying them using that test. It is very effective. If you need help, sir, in that, you can take the help of any professional counselor who has done this. They do it also for you. So you call the counselor to the campus one day and tell them we want to speak to them and they will do it. Fortunately for our college, our psychology head of department was a very known counselor in India. So
see.
that lady, madam, and the sir previous to them had done this for us. But they will
Thank
do
you,
it
sir.
very nicely for you, sir.
Thank you, sir. We'll come to you later on also to
Yes,
get
please,
your
sir.
help.
Definitely, please, sir.
Just I have one your suggestion on this, and Chaudhary has already mentioned. Due to this pandemic situation, the
Yes, sir.
post-COVID situation in education is definitely going to
Very,
change.
very difficult.
Yeah, and UGC and all other authorities are expecting you should have inclusion of some online courses or
Yes, yes, yes,
online credit transfers for the
yes.
students. How you look to this, because it
Uh,
is going to totally change the scenario.
yes, yes. What Chaudhary sir asked me about my experience abroad, right? I think we will have to go to that, but it is also going to be difficult, right? So what I suggest, what I had suggested in my college, that can we have internal credit transfers? That
Okay.
means if a student of BMEC, right, wants to take one of the courses of EMEC, right, as an additional credit, then can we do that internally? Because for you to try to do it with another college or at the state level, you will not be able to coordinate it in this time. And
It is.
AICT also will not allow it at this point of time, right? So in that context, I would suggest
हाँ
that if
सर
you do internal additions,
हाँ देतो ना
right, and you add this capability enhancement scheme or courses as external credits, right, then
Yeah.
those you can do. That is number one. And all these certifications which are available, for which students will have to pay externally, if those certifications can also be included in that. In fact, when I was talking to Rusa Maharashtra, this is also what they are thinking of for AICTE colleges. That can we include a course, let us say a bouquet of courses which can be as common credits for these types of colleges, common credits for certain colleges. And these will all be online.
Yes, sir.
But
Thank you, sir.
yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, sir. Chaudhary sir, thank you very much.
I hope in future also you will be
Yes,
there
sir.
to support us at
Yes,
AISSMS.
sir. Yes, sir.
I request,
Definitely I will.
okay. I
Thank
request
you.
SV Chaitanya sir to present vote of thanks.
Bormane sir, thank you very much.
ओके थँक्यू सर
Thank you, sir. खूप खूप
Sir.
सुंदर तुमचं
Ah,
प्रेझेंटेशन झालं.
thank you, sir.
सर I am Dr. Chaitanya.
Yes, sir, sir, please.
We are very much thankful to Dr. Balchandra Bhole, who has given the very kind inputs on the role of accuracy in the quality improvements. Behalf of the AISSMS College of Engineering and from Dr. B.S. Bormane sir and management of AISSMUI, we are very much thankful to Bhole sir for his valuable, resourceful and active information shared as the resource person to our faculty development programs. The tips and the processes suggested to us are extremely innovative, useful, and certainly it will help our participants to include them in the future development. We offer our sincere thanks to appreciate your efforts in supporting us in this faculty development program. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you.
you. We will have 10 minutes break, and I request all the participants to join the session exactly after 10 minutes.
चौधरी सर
Yes, sir.
मी पण ह्यांचं थोडस अटेंड करतो आणि मग आय
हो सर, हो सर.
ओके सर या
Okay,
थँक्यू
thank you.
All participants are requested that in chat box attendance link is provided. So kindly mark your attendance for session 1, and soon we'll start session 2 also after 10 minutes. So you are requested to mark your attendance in chat box. The link is provided. So link is provided in chat box. So I will request Talkar sir again to paste that link in chat box. Talkar sir.
हा सर.
हॅलो.
सर ऐकू येते का?
हो हो हो
क्लिअर येते आता?
हो, आता एकदम क्लिअर आहे. हो.
हा म्हणजे तो माईक वर घ्यायला पाहिजे जरा.
हा, थोडासा किंवा कॉलरच्या जवळ ठेवला तरी चालेल.
त्याला काही पिन नाहीये. ठीक आहे, असं हातात धरून बोलतो.
हा, हातात धरून आता बोला बरं.
हॅलो.
हा, आता व्यवस्थित येतो.
हा ठीक
आणि
आहे.
मगाच्या सारखं बोला.
हा हॅलो. हॅलो
हा,
सर.
तरी ठीक आहे, तसं काय फरक नाही, काय चालतं.
चालतंय ना?
हा, असंच बोला सर, जाऊ द्या.
हा येते ना व्यवस्थित?
हो, व्यवस्थित येतो. हा, ते हातात धरण्यापेक्षा असं बोलायला काही हरकत नाही.
हा ठीक आहे. ओके सर.
ओके सर.
Hello. Good afternoon, Dr. Sanjay Gaikwad, sir. Welcome. So now you are co-host. Means you can share your screen. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes.
You can share your screen.
Okay, may I audible?
हा, यस.
So please check your mic. So voice is less.
Yes, may I audible?
And now it's okay, sir.
मावळे सर, माझा आवाज येतोय का?
येतोय सर.
येतोय ना? हा.
हा चैतन्य सर बोलतो. आवाज
हा,
नीट
यस
येतोय
सर,
का?
यस यस.
क्लिअर येतोय ना आवाज सर?
हा, यस यस.
ओके.
हॅलो.
तुम्ही हेडफोन लावलाय का?
नाही, आवाज येते ना? बरं, थोडस जवळून बोलतो. हा हा हा, चालेल. ओके. येस ओके. Yes, may I audible now?
हा येतोय सर.
Okay.
हा येतोय, क्लिअर येतोय अगदी.
Okay, should I start?
मावळे सर चालू करायचं का?
2 minutes, sir. We told 10 minutes. It is 3:37. At 3:40 we'll start.
ओके.
असं काय करायला पण आज अचानक?
Chaitanya sir, we can start now. It is 3:40.
चालू करूया.
Yes sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. S.U. Chaitanya. Welcome you all on the today's session 2 on promoting the quality culture in technical institutions. We have today for the session 2 Dr. Sanjay Gaikwad with us. We welcome Dr. Sanjay Gaikwad. He is having the teaching experience of UG and PG for more than 25 years. Presently, he is working as head of the department chemistry at Bharatiya Jain Sanghatan, ASC College of Wagholi. He is also hold the post as IQSC coordinator, and he is a founder of IQSC Cluster India. His research profile includes 21 research papers and presentations at the national and international journals and the conferences. More than 15 students have completed the research under his guidance, and at present, the 5 students are undergoing the PhD work. Sir has contributed 15 video lectures on the subjects of chemistry on the YouTube channel, published 3 reference books at the international level, and the 3 textbook for the students for the reference. Dr. Sanjay Gaikwad has handled the many administrative positions as is in charge of the science faculty, member of local management committee, college development committee, research and academic coordinator, and from 2014 onwards, Dr. Sanjay Gaikwad sir is coordinator of IQSC cell. He is a resourceful person and been invited for the various lectures on the topic of NAC, and at present he is the resourceful person for RUSA and MHSD for the NAC and chemistry. Dr. Gaikwad sir has received the various awards as the Best Teacher Award by BJS in 2012, Best Teacher Award by Bandhuta Sahitya Parishad in 2014, Best Innovative Teacher Award by Savitribai Phule Pune University in 2017. Sir, we are very much happy to receive you and request you to take over the session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chaitanya sir. Respected principal of AISSMS College, coordinator of AISSMS College, and all participants. The promoting quality culture in technical institute, I am very congratulate to AISSMS for organizing this 1 week online FDP. Today we are talking about the teaching learning practices. Now, before that, we are discussing about the AICT policies. Now, development of high quality institution that thrive on academic excellence and promote innovations. Now, for innovations, the AICT do the some practices to the all the technical institutions. Research and development programs. Under this program, the AICT gives the policy to develop the research in every institute, not only for the teachers, but for student. They should be developed some programs or programs. Then networking of institution of optimum resource utilization. Then for knowledge spreading through the all colleges, all institute through the students. Then technology forecasting and global manpower planning. Now promotion of industry institution interaction for developing new products, services, and patents. Inculcating the entrepreneurship. Means students should be when pass out from the college, he has the keeping in mind that we should start certain business with respect to this their with the help of their knowledge. Then encouraging the indigenous technology. Nowadays, this is required because our technology is most important. It should be going towards the globally. Now focusing on non-formal education, not only the formal education, but with this formal education, non-formal education should be the imparted through the student. Providing affordable education to all. It's not for the particular student, but for all the students, it should be the education to all, making Indian technical education globally acceptable. Now, our education system should be acceptable in the outside country, like in the foreign's. Why? What happened? The students are going out to the abroad. They should be appreciated by our technology and by the knowledge. And the vision of forward-looking undergraduate program and produces an efficient, flexible, and empowered manpower sensitive to the industry's expectations. Now, AICT gives these policies, but what type of methodology should be implemented? Now, in this case, the promotion of quality in technical education, engineering college, diploma college, through this technical education, the quality should be promoted through the certain activities. Then innovative policy directions, then review of norms and standards, assessment of manpower requirement, then liaison with central government, state government, universities, and other statutory bodies. Then involving industry to promote quality and move towards mandatory accreditation. Now, in the accreditation, what happened? We are periodically we are going to for the accreditation. In this way, we have to face each and every accreditation. It may be a NAC, it may be a NBA, like this type of accreditation should be there. Through this methodology, the all policy should be implemented. Now, in case of the quality initiatives by AICT, then one of the example that Atal Academy, in this academic, what happened to empower faculty to achieve goal of higher education, such as access, equity, and quality. Now, these three words are most important. To access, to equity, and quality. All these are should be maintained through certain activities, and these activities are given by the Atal Academy, and it should be implemented through the all technical institution. And this will be the with accountability and affordability. Now, in case of these activities, they are classified in research, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Through these three activities, the training, workshop, orientation, learning communities, peer monitoring, and FDPs should be organized, just like utilizing on the SWAYAM platform. These activities should be run through the AICT. Now, AICT again do certain quality initiatives for the technical education. There are some MOUs can be prepared from the institute and industry, or institute to certain another college, not only technical but another professional, non-professional colleges. Then faculty development program should be organized. Under this program, the all holistic development should be considered for, in the programs. Such a type of programs are become a mandatory, and these programs should be done with the help of the under the quality initiatives of the technical education. Now, AICT also giving some the activities for the student and collaboration with the faculty institution. Now, such a type of many activities can be run under this quality improvement programs. Then AICT also gives the induction program like physical activity, then creative arts, universal human values, literary, then proficiency modules, then lecture for eminent people, visit to local areas. Such a type of all activities should be given to the student in the colleges. And at every activity, the leader, it may be a head of the institute or principal, has to make a very critical or very formulated plan to conduct such a type of activity to develop the student with the holistic development as well as knowledge. Now, same to the AICT, the MSBT also giving some core values. Under these core values also, the important things are like skill development in line with the industry requirement. Now, skills to be imparted through the student, not only just the syllabus we have to complete, but with this syllabus, certain skills like generic skill, like life skill, these type of skill also incorporated in the student when they facing or directly going to the industry. They should have the certain skill. They can be identified with that the student is from this college like this. Then industry readiness and improved employability of diploma holders or another technical course holders. Then relationship with the industry, it should be developed very critically. Then uh, collective and cooperative development of all stakeholders. This is also most important. The cooperative nature should be there, and this cooperative nature should be developed in the student. Then technological interventions and social development, so societal development. Now, technological interventions like the technological skill, because the technological skill, for example, the logical skill. Now, this type of skill should be developed under this core value. Then access to uniform quality technical education. Now, quality is most important. Just now, the Bole sir has saying that what is the quality, and that type of quality should be developed in the student, and through the education, through the programs, it can be developed. Now, vision and vision is given here. The directorate of the technical education DTE gives the vision. Now, all agencies, all boards, they given the same type of vision to develop the student in various ways. Now, these are the major objectives of the MBA. Now, in that MBA, all type of benchmarks are given in the NBA assessment. Now, assessment and accreditation programs are there. Now, in this case, the benchmark is most important. Just now, the Bhole sir giving the idea of what type of benchmarks should be developed. Now, benchmarks are not given by the another agency. We have to create ourselves, because my college, my student, I know better than the other agencies. And therefore, to develop the quality, to use the quality, we should prepare our benchmark, and to promote excellence through this benchmark, which it helps in the determination of the whether or not institution to able achieve its mission and board based on the goal and visions, statements and mottos. Now, to promote quality conscious system of technical education where excellence, relevance, and market needs and participation by the stakeholders are prime and major determinants. Now, in this way, the sixth objectives are also most important: to set the quality benchmark targeted at global and national stockpile and human capital in the field of the technical education, and to contribute to the domain of knowledge in quality parameters assessment and evaluation. These are the objectives given by. In these objectives also, we can understand that we promote the excellence to the nation. Now, NAC also giving the some core values. We are not going in detail, but we are discussing here just only the contribute to national development. Now, what type of national development we are doing through the student? Now, for this, the parameters are also there. The more access with equity, developmental trust in identification of research areas and academic programs, community engagement. Now, these type of engagement programs we have to organize. Then fostering global competencies among the student. What type of global among global competence? Now, first is the development of generic skill. I'm talking about the generic skill. It should be the college has organized such a type of programs where generic skills are automatically developed. Not they are in the syllabus, not in the they are in the curricular, but teacher has to write to make the curricula in such a way that it should be develop the generic skills. Then development of application skill. Now, the technical institutes are most of the syllabus or curricula are related to the applications. Now, these application-oriented skills we have to impart in the student through the student by organizing certain activities. And third is the development of the life skill. Now, this is also most important because the students are completed their graduation, post-graduation, but the community says that the student does not learn certain life skills. Now, these life skills are also learned in the college life or in the activities. Now, third core value given by the NAC is the inculcating the value system in the student. Now, value should be imparted. Now, value integration in academic programs, value integration in the management practices, value inculcation through the co-curricular and extracurricular activities. Now, these type of activities should be given to the student. That's why the academic, the the values are can be developed. Fourth is promoting the use of technology. Now technology nowadays, due to this COVID-19 situation, we have to use the most of the technology in the learning process, and this type of technology should be promoted by the college, by the teachers, and to the student for enriching the learning process, the increasing the access online programs for system management. In this way, we can, with the help of this parameter, we can promote the use of technology. And last and most important, that is the quest for excellence. Because for this purpose, we are doing all these teaching, learning, then students are coming to the college. All these are related to the quest for excellence. And for this parameter, core value, we can suggest the parameter like development of benchmark for excellence. Now, what is excellence? For this, we have to prepare a certain benchmark for the quality. This is the better quality, this is the good quality, this is the okay, this is the prominent quality. Like this, we have to prepare the benchmark for each quality, each parameter. Now, best practices are applications. Now, best practices, there are so many practices are there, but out of which we can able to select the good practice, and from that good practice, the management, teacher, administrative part, all they able to select the what is the best practice of our college and how it implemented to the student for the nation. And last is the institutionalization of the continuous improvement system. Now, improvement always there. For that purpose, we should require the continuous improvement system. Now, with these core values, the quality indicator framework, NAC is given, like 7 criteria are given. We are not going in detail at the 7 criteria, but the second criteria is most important: teaching, learning, and evaluation process. Under this process, the Bhole sir has given the lot of things related to this criteria, how the quality benchmark are there, how to quality is given for the institution, how the institution get identified. And for this teaching learning method, these are the basic sub key indicators like student enrollment and profile, then catering to the student diversity, teaching learning process, teacher profile and quality, education process and reform, then student performance and learning outcome, student satisfaction survey. But out of which, most important, which is related to our topic, is the teaching learning process. Now, teaching learning process, because quality is mostly about 90% is depend on the teacher learning process. Now, how the teacher teach, instead of that, how the student learn. Nowadays, the teacher's role is not only just teach, but we have to learn, we have to teach the student how to learn, and that is most important. Now, in this topic, we are discussing about the what type of teaching learning processes are there nowadays. Now, under this teaching learning quality, just only the teacher quality is a composite term to indicate the quality of teachers in terms of their qualification, teacher characteristic, adequacy of the recruitment procedures, faculty availability, professional development, and recognition of teaching abilities. Teachers take initiative to learn and keep abreast with the latest development, to innovate, the continuously seek improvement in their work and strive for individual and institutional excellence. Now, to increase the institutional excellence, to give the our students are the product. Now, how this product become very fine, very finished product, and when it going outside or passing from the college, it should be identified that yes, this student is from my institute. Like this, what type of excellence should be imparted in the student? For this purpose, teacher should be a very alert. Teacher should be a innovative. Teacher should be a giving the very. It has a very ability to give the alertness, continuous assessment process, and it should be a innovative in the each and every practice. Then and then only the student outcome is given out. Now, student performance and learning outcomes are given in terms of the real taste of the extent to which teaching learning has been effective in the higher education is reflected in the student performance in the examination. Student performance is seen as the realization of the learning outcome, which are a specification of what the student should be capable of doing on successful completion of the course and the program with the generic skill, applicable skill, and life skills. Now, in the process, what happened? We have the largest and diverse education system in the world. Now, each and every student coming from the rural area as well as urban area, it has to fight to learn something, and therefore he has automatically holistic development is imparted in the student. Now, this is a different education system in our India. Now, this system has expansion, increased autonomy, and introduction to the program in new and emerging areas have improved access to higher education through the certain learning experiments. Now, to learn, to impart certain system. Now, our focus is that the community satisfaction, the stakeholder satisfaction. Now, teacher role of teacher is most important for there. Then the role of management, the role of the institute, administrative part. But what is the role of teacher? Now we know that to satisfy the community, to satisfy the all stakeholders like parents, community, society, student, management, all employee. For that purpose, what we have, the what teacher have, the teacher have the student, curricula, faculty, staff, non-teaching staff, facilities and infrastructure, teaching resources. We have all these things. Then what is the output? Now we finding the output like skilled and employable graduate. Now, skilled graduate, skill means suppose one student is coming outside as a BE mechanical. What type of skill he has? Then another is employability. He can get the employable or employment immediately. Another third term is a graduate. Graduate means what? The graduate means he has the ability to sustain immediately. Now, such a type of skills can we impart. This is the output. Now we have the input. What is the output? Then teacher should concentrate on whether I am giving the skills to the student, whether we are become our product is employable, our product is a graduate. Third is a research publication output. Now these are research publication in terms of the thinking power. Now whether we are imparting the in the student where how to think, how to face the each and every problems he facing day by day. For this purpose, can he solve the problem easily? Then contribute to the community. Now, whether his knowledge, whether his skill can contribute to the community, these are the output. These are the output. We identify that from ourselves. We have input. We know the output. Then what is our role? Our role is the process. Now, what type of process we did? The teaching and learning process. This is the most important process. Then staff development. Staff development means every teacher should be developed in by own. Then student support and evaluation. What type of support services we are giving? Now teacher has to give not the physical support service, but the counseling, how to learn, that can the skill can be imparted in the student by the teacher. Such a type of support can we give really. Then research mind, that means the thinking power. Any problem, suppose he passing out from our college and when he face in the community directly, whether he has to able to tackle the problem, that type of thinking power can we impart in the student. That process should be given by the teacher. Then administration, how to organize certain program, how to organize our day. The student can able to organize such a type of any facing problem, that can be imparted by the teacher. This type of process if we impart, then stakeholders become satisfied. Because what happened, the students are coming in our college taking the admission to learn something, because he read the vision of our college, and that vision is imparted into the output. That's why students are taking the admission. Can we able to give all these things to the student? Therefore the teacher's role is most important to do the process. Now in what type of process? Now these processes we can do with the help of management, institute and classroom. Now the teacher role is related to classroom, but what type of management can we do the process on the student, for the student to get the employable, to get the graduate student? For this purpose, the operative framework, vision, goal, planning, decision making, supervision, that work can be done by the management. But what happened nowadays, the teacher has to do this role also. Then institute, that means it having the head of the department, head of the institute, head of the department, in charge of the institution, or principal of the college. Now he has to role very effectively as an administration role. This is the midpoint for the management and classroom and community, and therefore leadership is the most important. Leadership is for the teacher also, for principal also, for head of the department, as well as management. Now this leadership, if it is effective, then our products are very good, fine product. Now in the classroom, what is the teacher role? That is the teaching and learning process. Now just only these two words are there, teaching and learning process, but these words are very big as compared to the management and institute role. Now what is the teaching and learning process? The process, it demonstrates the use of range of pedagogical skill and effective class leadership. See, here leadership is also included here, providing an enjoyable learning experiences to all students and ensuring the expected achievement level. Now, achievement level should be given by the teacher. Now, under this teaching learning process, teacher has to concentrate on the subject knowledge and pedagogy, assessment and feedback practice, and its own leadership in the classroom. Now, for subject knowledge and pedagogy, what the teacher should be concentrated, the subject expertise, mastery in the subject, know facts and concept. He should know what we are going to teach, areas of difficulties, what type of difficulties are we are going to face in the classroom. Because in the classroom there are three types of students are there: slow learners are there, fast learners are there, moderate learners are there, and in fast learners also some advanced learner students are also there. Now for these students, can we raise certain difficulties before the teaching in the class? Then application of the subject day-to-day life. Can we correlate our curricula in the classroom with the day-to-day life application? Now that is also most important, because the syllabus is given by the AICT or university, the syllabus is made, but curricula should be developed by the teacher. Curricula is different and syllabus is different. Syllabus is given just only the points, but under this point, what we have to teach to the student, that curricula should be made by the every teacher in the beginning of the year. Because the syllabus is just only the one page, but under one page we have to make the curricula for the one class, 1 hour class. What type of curricula should be given to the student, how the student get digested my talking, that, and how we correlate with the day-to-day life. That is a curricula, and it should be made by the teachers. And then interdisciplinary approach. Whether I'm suppose my subject is chemistry, I'm teaching chemistry in the classroom. Whether it has an interdisciplinary approach to the technical institute, like mechanical engineering, like civil engineering, like biology, like life sciences, like physical sciences. Can we make the interdisciplinary approach with the student? Then pedagogical competence. Now in pedagogical competence, what happened? We should be a word smart, we should be a logical smart, we should be a body smart, because every teacher is an art. It has a some actor, and with respect to this body smart, art smart, then adopt effective teaching and learning methodologies. He can adopt the teaching and learning method, new methodology, because every year new students are coming. Every student has a different mind concentration. Every student has a different levels. Then can we make certain learning methods? Can we change such a type of methods? Then able to design task and group task. Whether we are giving the task to the student or group task to the student, whether it is comparable with the life, then consider towards some student need special learning, because some students require then special need, because we are teaching in the classroom just like we are considering everything can be understood by the student, but there are many type of students are in our class. Low level, low slow learner as well as advanced learner. We have to come in between that, and then we have to teach with the considering this level of the student. Then consider towards the some students need special learning. Some students give the special learning one time, two time, three times. We have to impart the knowledge. We can make the certain different ideas to learn, make an increase in the concentration of the student. How is the student involved in my teaching? That we have to think. Then modify the curricula for disabled student, because maybe disabled students are also in our class. For this purpose, can we make certain changes in my curricula for slow learners and disabled students? Engage the gifted students. Some students are also gifted. Now, for the gifted student, can we give certain different tasks for these students? Then TLM material. Now, this material can we prepare before the teaching, make the topic interesting for me become an interesting topic. Can what type of TLM material I prepared in the class? Then engage the enhancing creativity. Now, students should be involved in the to understand, because Bloom's technology just only two parts we are doing in the class. But what type of the creativity? Now, for this purpose, can we understand this? Then local resources. Now, when we are teaching in the classroom, can we take the local resources to understand the concept? Now, such a type of TLM material should be prepared. Self-development, update ourselves, skill development, review, and monitor. In this way, the subject knowledge and pedagogy should be developed in the curricula. Then every teacher should ask himself certain questions like how to increase the student motivation, how to help student feel confident in solving the problem, how to teach student to plan their learning activities, how to help them to carry our self-assessment at the end of the lesson, how to encourage the student to motivate them for future work, how I can give feedback to the student in and inform them about their individual learning, and how to create think culture, how to create the student analyzing mind, like Bloom's technology. Last point, how can I manage my classroom in 1 hour class time? How the concept can be imparted to the student through this? If you ask this question immediately, you have the answer, and then you can give the, you will satisfy your lecture immediately. Now, for quality and audit, we are not going in detail because Boris sir has expressed all these things. Therefore, the next point is the education is not the race. Now we are thinking that everybody is like a exam oriented. We are teaching, even that students are studied exam oriented. This is not the race. This is the like with winners and losers. The technology or teaching is the highest related to the understanding. Now we are covering the syllabus in time. The management, the principal saying that you should cover the syllabus. I'm saying that it does not cover the syllabus. So it opens the syllabus to the student and allow to create the something, allow to make the creativity in the each and everyday concept. And therefore, we are thinking over the teacher should gives the respect to the this curricula. This is not the race like that. Now, learner-centric education through the appropriate methodology. There are so many methodologies are available. Even that we can create ourselves the some certain methodologies to how to teach in the class. Now, such a type of methods are there. Now, I'm remembering one example. One student asked, he is copied in the examination. He take the cheat and supervisor checked this and he got the cheat and he left the examination. Then he goes to the in the court and he's saying that why my paper is taken, or why I'm coming out from the classroom, why I'm not able to give the examination by cheating, by taking the cheat, and why not write. The court has suggesting that this is the wrong thing, but he's saying that the everyday my teacher is doing this, then I learn from them. Then the court asked the student that how this is possible. He's saying that every day my teacher is coming with the PPT. He's copied. He's not saying that anything by himself. That learn from them, and I will implement this. And therefore, court get satisfied for them, and he is allowed for the next examination immediately. Now, such a type of things are learned from the by the student from the teachers. Now, innovative practices model. Now we have the structure of like innovative practice model to get the teacher quality or educational quality. We have the short lecture. We no need to give the 50 1 hour lecture in the class or 50 minutes in the class. Short lecture, you become a short lecture, take one concept, but give the activity to the student. Now, what type of activity? The teacher should be involved in the college culture, constitution approach, lecture skill and aptitude and resources. Now, short lecture become a short, like a role playing lecture, then portfolio. You can convert this lecture into the portfolio, some development, problem based learning, and then the student can involve easily. And after involving, the student can understand easily the all concept. He can apply the knowledge, and whatever your role is that to complete syllabus that much in the 1 hour, the immediately it will complete in the short time. Even you are become a short lecture, students are allowed to involve in the lecture, then teaching methodology can be improved. Now, with respect to the student and teacher relation, you can improve your quality, educational quality. We can make some pedagogical tool yourself. Now, these are the simulation methods, how the gaming, the concepts are there. We are not going in detail this situation. Now, the situation is that the learning input, teaching methods, and educational quality. We are talking about the educational quality, but what type of educational quality we required now? Now, learning inputs are, we have the teaching methods. If teaching methods are not implemented properly, the educational quality will not be appear or will not be excellence as a quest from our college. And for this purpose, what happened? We have certain making change, like evaluation system. Just not the evaluation, we have to evaluating the system. Synthesis is converted into creating, analysis is converted into analyzing, the application converting, applying for this, the comprehension get converted into the understanding, and knowledge can be converted into the remembering. Now, these continuous processes are there. Students should involve each and every minute in the college. Suppose the students are coming to the college, maybe a 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, out of which how much time he impart his time. He earns certain things in the college, like evaluating, creating the knowledge. His knowledge can learn, think power, how to improve with this page. We are talking a lot. We are talking about the just evaluation synthesis because we have to giving the data. We have to reporting to the management. We have to reporting to the accreditation. For this purpose, just we are doing this. But what about the student? They are whether really they are coming into the or imparting into the to learn something. These continuous process should be there. Now, for optimal learning ensure the joyful, rigorous, and responsive curricular engaging the effective pedagogy and carrying support to optimize learning and the overall development of the student. Now, these are the support to the student. Now, effective learning requires curriculum, pedagogy, and student support. Now, effective learning is what? Just only we can reform our curricula in with the help of certain using the pedagogy, and with the help of the student support, we can give the effective learning system. Then lack of autonomy and to design the curricula. Now, because what happened, the university or AICT given the syllabus, and this syllabus we have to impart to the student, out of which the how much percentage syllabus we are completing in our class, I don't know. But what happened? We have to design the curricula with respect to this syllabus, and we have to give the very effectively. Now, with respect to this effective syllabus, the curricular pedagogy must be designed by institution and motivate the faculty. Now, institute, the principal, head has a role to motivate the faculty to design your curricula according to the syllabus. The syllabus is known, but within this syllabus, we have to prepare your curricula. You use innovative ideas for the student. Now, there are so many innovative ideas are there. Every teacher has a number of innovative ideas, but it is not implemented for all ideas to the all students. Suppose that for first year student, we have to implement certain innovative ideas. For second year student, we have to implement. For practical purpose, you have to use the different ideas. Now, these ideas gives the time, very much time to understanding for the student. Then each institute must also the committed to the holistic development of the student. Now, the Chakni sir day after tomorrow will talk about the what type of holistic development, what community wants from the student. That holistic development should be incorporated into the curricula and pedagogy. Then students get satisfied. Then innovative and responsive curricula in the pedagogy. What type of effective teaching, learning, and pedagogy practices are there? Will encourage the rigorous and training with the conceptual understanding, development, and fundamental capacities and depositions, practical and hands-on training exercise, because technical institutes are the only depend on the practical hands-on training, because hands-on training is there, then and then only they can understand the most of the concept easily, and therefore your lecture should be a practical oriented, or experiential level lecture should be there. Then faculty must be empowered and supported by the HEI to innovate and adopt the pedagogy approaches. Now, so many times what happened that teacher are using the pedagogy, but he is using pedagogy for to complete their syllabus, not for the complete syllabus, but to understand the student easily in the less quantity of the time. He can understand easily. Then cooperative and peer supported activities can help substantially empowering the student to take charge on their own learning. Now, cooperative nature is the most important nature we have to develop. This is one of the best practice of some of the college. Cooperative nature, peer supported cooperative nature. Then choice-based credit system for assessment. Now, choice-based credit system is implemented for the by the university syllabus. But what happened? Choice-based credit system is implemented. Now, in this case, well, we have to learn the liberal education. Now, I'm talking when we are talking about the liberal education, what is the choice-based credit system, how it implemented more effectively. Then curriculum and pedagogy to be an integral part of the situation. Then all institutions shall provide academic support to the student in addition to the regular classes, bridge program, remedial support. Now, 5 hour teaching is okay in the classroom, but out of that 2 hour, 3 hours, students should be in the college to learn certain another parameters like bridge classes, remedial support, or hope to develop the holistic way. Now, academic, financial, and emotional support will be available for the student. Now, academic support from the teacher, financial student from the like scholarship. The college has implemented the 100% scholarship for the student. There are so many scholarships are there in from the NGOs. Now, I'm giving the one example like Fair and Lovely company giving the fellowship, scholarship for the student. Now, not for the good facing or beautiful student, but they are giving the scholarship for everybody. The bad thing is that when I'm talking with the Fair and Lovely company manager, how many proposals are coming? They are saying that the 25 scholarships are available, but only 2 or 3 applications we received per year. Now, this type of scholarships are there. Now, in Pune city, I'm talking about the Pune city, the 274 NGOs are able to give the scholarship to the student. Now, I'm giving the one example of Wakefield company. Wakefield company giving the 60 scholarship from the India, and every year I'm working on that. Every year, the six girl student taking this facility from the financial facility from the Wakefield company. Nowadays, just only the 48 girl student taking the benefit, and every girl is taking the 45 lakhs for the graduation. Now, such a type of facilities are available in Pune. Now, why should not the teacher, why should not the principal are going for this scholarship? I'm saying that every student from our colleges in the Pune University, everybody get the scholarship. That much fellowship scholarships are available. Now, the gold Kalyani Golds also given the this scholarship, because everybody has to support for the tax to give the educational scholarship. Now, we are taking the benefit of that. Now, financial support for the student from the teacher, from the management. What type of from the corpus fund can we giving the financial support to the some needy student, and facilities for the sport and arts, involving the student in institutional processes. Can we involve the student how to involve in the administrative process? They can learn how to make the administration, good administration, best administration in the college. Then clubs and activities in for the holistic development, grievances redressal. The students should take part in these. They have to learn such a type of generic skill and life skill in this. Then open and distance learning. Now, this type of learning resources should be made available by the college for the student, like enhance access to the higher education, including the professional and vocational education, promote lifelong learning things. Then support services for students enrolled in the open and distance learning, like availability of massive open online courses like MOOC. Then students should be involved in these type of courses, not only the teacher. Now these are the capabilities development schemes are there, guidance and competitive examination. These are the everything is are there. Now here the bridge courses. Now bridge courses most important for the student, because uh, the student having certain background is different, and then he imparting for the new syllabus. Be in between that, the student requires certain knowledge, and that knowledge we are giving in the short term courses, like bridge courses can be made for the student. These are the academic support to the student. Such a type of facilities maybe become available for the student by the college. Now these are the welfare schemes are there. Every college has this welfare scheme, but students are not taking this benefit. The management, the administration and teacher has role to take the benefit of all these courses, all these facilities for the student. The student just only reading the notice board and they are not applying, but properly we are not giving this guidance for the student. Then special coaching schemes are there, soft skill development programs are there, book bank facilities are there. Every college has these facilities, and they are keeping on the website. The student should read this. But our job is that to read the notice board, to read, to watch, to see our website properly by the student. You have to make certain activities in a such a way that the student can read this and take the benefit of this. Then students with learning disabilities may find it difficult to acquire the knowledge and skill. These are the related to the uh, all colleges, so we are not going in detail. This is about the bridge course. The just Bole sir has telling that the add-on courses and value-added courses. Now these courses should be there, because with just only the curricula and syllabus, the community has not accepted that. But with this syllabus, the student should have certain courses, certain different knowledge with the value added and add-on courses. These type of courses should be imparted to the student. Then our student become a bright student. The plan and implementation of the remedial measures, these are also in every college. Now we are thinking about the development of the student. Now what is development from first year student going to the second year, then going to the third year? Now this type of development is we are thinking about that. It is the vertical development, but can we think about the horizontal development? Now the teacher, management and the principal has to think over that, whether the student has horizontally developed, teacher has horizontally developed. Now in the year, what type of qualities acquired by the teacher to implement for the student? Now student from the first year, what type of knowledge he received? Now for 4 year students are in our college. In 4 year, the 8 semesters are there. Every semester, the each and every student can acquire certain skill. We had this plan for first year, first semester student do these skills. The second semester, that student you have to complete these skills. Now such a type of horizontal development we have to taking care for the development of the student as well as the staff. Now we are thinking about the student progression. Now student progression, what happened? The student has under the pressure, because of the family pressure, community pressure, because you are taking the admission, you are submitting the that much fee. Then this is the bother on the student, and the student learn under pressure. Can we remove this pressure from the student? Student has to right to take the which type of courses he has to require, what type of qualities he has, that can be understood by the student. For this purpose, can we give the certain activities for the student? For then he can be removed his pressure, and he come out and get the aspiration is converted into the outcomes. It may be educational, it may be economic, it may be social, but student has to right to choice based credit system. He has right to choice the what type of courses should I learn, what type of skill he has, that can be understood with the help of these courses. Then student progression to higher education, we are not again going in detail that these are the some innovative ideas the teacher can implement it in the college. Now these are the ideas given, some ideas are given, I implemented. I the results are of these ideas are known, and that's why these type of ideas are there. The first idea is the cooperative learning method. This is the teaching method. Uh, in that teaching method, one learning method is also included. Then knowledge leader concept, one of the new concept is there. This is the learning method. Then RBBT, research based pedagogical tool. Bloom's taxonomy, we know that, but how do we go to the step by step? Flipped classroom is also there. PLTL, that is peer lead team learning system is there. Peer to peer learning system is there. Knowledge fun fair, such a type of activities are there. Through these activities, student can learn easily. Now, first, the cooperative learning method. In this cooperative learning method, what happened? So many educational colleges have taught their teaching learning and the cooperative learning method. But in that case, the think, pair, share, and I'm creating just attachment. This is the evaluation. Now, one paper is published in this cooperative learning method. This method is very effectively for the student. Now, here what happened, the students are learning with the cooperation. Now, we know that every class has some students are clever students, some students are moderate, that's moderate learners, some are very slow learner students are. We are making the group of these students like some are slow learners, some are advanced learners, and by cooperation, one task we have to impart it. Suppose teacher has just only within the 1 hour period, just only he taught just only for the 20 minutes, and after 20 minutes he gives the task to the group containing the variety of the student, and every student take part in this learning, and just we have to point out what is the task, and then they discuss together and they write the task, and one of the student gets presented. Now in this what happened, every students are at the same level, and therefore teacher should teach at the same level. Because what happened nowadays, we are teaching in the classroom, some students learn immediately, some students are learn very slowly. Now this is not the match, but when we are taking the cooperative learning method in the class, the students are in the same level, and therefore teacher can easily impart what he want. Now in this method, what happened, the positive interdependence is there, individual accountability is there, interactions are there, involvement of students are there. Students are forgetting the mobile, students are forgetting what he think after completion of the college, what where we have to go. That concepts are completely removed from his mind, and he is become involved in the learning process. He is completely participated. He is alert, respect to the teacher and other students. Now this is the most important fact that is not nowadays, respect to the teachers and students. In this way, he first think on the task, then pair, that is discuss on the task, then share the present to the class. Now from them, one of the student has to explain the task, and other group has to ask the question, and giving the evaluation system in this concept like that. Those students ask the question from the other group, they got the mark. The answer is given from this group is not that they are not getting the marks, but those who are asking the question, they got the mark. Therefore the students are alert, they want to ask the question. Now from the other group, they are asking so many questions. One task, so many questions are created. Students are has apply the creative mind to generate the question, and when he involved in the subject. And that's why the our aim is that to involve the student in the concept. Now in this concept, what happened, the impact of these students are this is the classroom where the students are sitting in the group wise, and they are looking discussing about the task, and then they write the points, and then one of the student get explain this. Now involvement of every student, this is the impact. Increase listening ability of every student, because some students have the ability to do not listen from others, from teacher also or from student also, but here their listening ability should be increased. Develop communication skill, they communicate with the other student. The students are engaged in the learning process, interest of the subjects it is increased, it might not be. Now feedback from the student, we are collecting the feedback from the 3 years continuously, and we received this. The student task take part in the learning process. 100% student are taking part in the process. No need to do the study of this subject at home, because in the classroom he has to learn this process. One group has one task, another group has another task. Means 5 groups are there, then 5 tasks are completed in 1 hour. Rather than when teacher teach, just only the 2 tasks are completed by teaching process. But with the help of this group, and therefore knowledge of the student is strengthening through the continuous improvement, free discussion because of the group assessment. This method helps to think us on the concept, and student learn through explaining concept to other student. Now these are the percentage we received from the 3 years result. Now another concept is that knowledge leader. This is the innovative concept, and due to this innovative concept, I received the innovative teacher award from the University of Pune. Like students are, we know that I am a teacher. You are the most of the participants are also teacher. Now, when I am teaching in the class, how much percentage student grasp this? I'm saying that just only the 10 to 15% student grasp the knowledge from ourselves. But what happened? The student has some queries, but he is not able to ask to the teacher. Questions are not asked to the teacher. When he after completion of the class, he went to suppose he go to the teacher and try to ask the question. We are giving the answers. You come tomorrow. Then you should read these first. Why are not listening properly in the class? Now such a type of answers are given by the teacher. I have this experience also. We are giving this type of answer, then the very next day the student has not able to give go to the teacher to ask this question. But I'm taking one concept here. Now in this classroom, what happened? These are the classroom students are there. I'm identified just the these type of some student. These are not very clever, but these are the smart student. Now what happened when we the teacher teach to the student? Some the 70%, suppose he not understanding, or he understanding by some very small queries are there. These are the very silly mistakes are there, but these silly mistakes are not asked to the teacher, and because of this silly mistake, he cannot understand the concept. Therefore, he can ask to the friend. Now, these friends are included into the class. Each and every student, suppose he has certain tasks, suppose he has certain queries, he can ask to this student, and the student, these are the friends. They immediately gives the answer. Then he has immediately understand the next concept, and therefore this concept immediately the teacher student are involved in the learning process easily, and teacher has face some big questions, not the short questions, and students can ask students become interesting in that subject. Now this is the classroom where sitting arrangement like this. The knowledge leaders are sitting in the classroom. Then we have to take the workshop for the student, knowledge leader student, as well as for the student, how to do this practice. And this practice gives the now in every college we are giving for increasing the improvement in the quality. We are giving the remedial coaching, guest lecture, seminar, conferences, workshop, book hand, book bank, books are given, the activities under the QIP. Really, these activities are useful for the student to understand the knowledge on the classroom. Now, for this purpose, what happen? The student can interact easily with the knowledge leader. They can understand, they can solve the small questions, and he can understand easily the concept easily. Now, this concept is implemented in the number of colleges, and every student, not from the science background, not from the technical background, but from all type of background, this concept is helpful, and the number of colleges adopt this. And what is the yield of this? The yield of this that the results of the student are increased. The college is giving the result about 25% immediately increase in the result is observed by this method. Now, another third method is that research-based pedagogical tool. Now, this is also most important method. I am implementing every year in the different classes, because each and every method is not implemented for the same class. For different classes, we can use this. Now, in this case, what happened? The students are sitting in the class like this. Now, I am giving the task to the students. Suppose one chapter is completed after learning. Then the students are giving the making the group, and every group giving the one question, and from that question he has to make the poster. I'm giving the poster sketch pen to the student for each group, and then he made the poster, and these posters are displayed on the classroom. And from that group, the other group students, they see the poster, and they write certain things. Now on this poster, the students are writing here the flip. Very good. He has to write something like this. He can add this in this problem. Such a type of thinking power is increased, and every student has to write something. It may be you write the good poster. It may you can write the color combination is wrong. Color combination may be changed. The concept may be changed. The concept here written that may be changed. This type of leaflets are there. Then the group has to read all these leaflet, and on the next day he has to make convert these positive thinkingly the poster, and the poster becomes a very clear poster. He gives very gives idea, and then another day the higher student or senior student or teachers has to evaluate this. Then these teacher posters are very talking posters are there. Under this poster, what the problem is there, that is the question is there, then activity task is there, learning objectives are written, then resources written, and assessment is also given. Now these posters are converted like this. Now such a type of posters, because every student has giving the task, not from the group but from the other group also, from the other class, senior class also giving the some suggestion, give the some suggestions. Therefore they are also involved in the thinking power, and such a type of activity gives the posters. Now these two posters are got the first prize in India when we are RBPT contest was done. This is the, see the creativity. This is a three-dimensional poster made by the one rural area girl. Now this three-dimensional idea is there. The one on the one poster, the matter is not accommodated. Therefore, he made such a type of three-dimensional poster. Now this type of creativity can be generated. These are the life skills, and these life skills are through this, and the students are involved. Most our aim is that to involve in the study. Now this type of innovative ideas can be the PLTL, peer lead team learning, collaborative learning methods is there. Now we are not going in detail because these methods are available on the net. You can see what type of methods are there, and these methods can be implemented for the involvement of the Bloom taxonomy. We are going remember and understanding, but above that we are not going to we are not trying to go there. The student, we in the classroom just only remember and understanding, apply, analyze. It should be involved in your pedagogy tool or innovative idea. The student can be evaluate easily, and he has certain gives the creation. Then another method is a flipped classroom. This is the hands-on approach. This is also imparted for the technical education also. Then peer to peer learning. Now these the two pairs are there. In these two pairs, the question is given. One of the students, suppose he has not able to give the answer, then he can ask to the his friend, and immediately by discussion they both are understanding the good ideas about the answer of the question. Now these are the some creativities in my college. One creativity is given to the student. Nowadays my subject is chemistry. Though in chemistry laboratory, the smell of H2S now is there. Now this is the task taken in the pedagogical tool in RBPT method. One student giving this task, the can we remove this smell from the laboratory? Then he think over that, the group think, and he made such this type of apparatus. This is the used up material, zero cost keeps apparatus. Keeps apparatus has a cost 4,000 rupees, but this apparatus has a zero cost, and he made this under controlled reaction apparatus. Now this apparatus, when we are giving to the exhibition in the Maharashtra government gives the first prize this to this apparatus. Then this apparatus after certain days, the same student group has becoming a sketch pen apparatus. Now in the used up sketch pen, this HPS apparatus made, keeps apparatus is made, and the smell is completely removed from the laboratory, and this type of apparatus can be implemented. This apparatus not only giving just only, but we are in the college we are organizing the one workshop for the non-teaching staff. Those are working in the laboratories, and all these instruments, all these equipment made by the students. We are giving the workshop for them. The Mohite sir, the former dean of the university, has also coming to see the apparatus. What type of apparatus should be made by the student? Now these type of things are there. These are also creativity, because in the laboratory the chemicals are taken from the steel spatula. After certain time, it may be converted into the rust, and uh, the cost of the spatula is also about above 100 rupees. But one of the student has made the straw spatulas, and it has zero cost. And such a type of material can be made in the laboratory. Now, another in our laboratory, we can write all these things. The students are able to write these type of things under the RVPT things. What to do when what happened in the disaster in the laboratory, what we have to do. Now, this type of activities can be done. This is one of the carbon rod. This is the electrical cell. After completion of this activity, this rod is removed, and this rod can be replaced by the platinum electrode, which has a 4,000 rupees cost. And immediately it gives the very better result in the current potentiometric titration. Such a type of innovative ideas, if you the teacher is allowed to implement, the students are more creative, and the students are going apart from the teacher's creativity. Now such a type of creative nature. Now this type of newsletter can be implemented by the student. Now for every subject, from the your mechanical department, from the your civil department, the one group is they allowed to make the such a type of newsletter, and every year it has no any cost. Students learn how to use the Corel Draw, how to use the color combination, what type of news are there, what type of articles are there, what type of news taken from the other department. They can be implemented here. They create their innovations in that case. Now this is the knowledge fun fair. Whenever we are learning about the fun fairs, food fun fair like that, but I am organizing the knowledge fun fair in my college. Now what happened here, the students are involved in the to learn the knowledge. Now games are there from the all subject, and the students, all other students are allowed to play these games. Now in the playing games, the student can understand the knowledge. Now it may be a all subject from all faculties, all they can be involved in this such a type of. The teacher has role to make support, give the academic support to the student. Oh yes, this type of game you put there, and you can earn so many things. He can learn the business mind also. Now such a type of skill can be developed with the help of these innovative ideas. The aim is that to learn the knowledge, to involve all students into the knowledge. The simple concepts are there, which with the students are not perfectly known. In this type of games, the student can understand easily the games. Now these are the some softwares are there. Teacher can be used. Now Remind 101, this software can be used by the teacher. Penju software is available. Google Handout, nowadays we are using this. But for teachers, the Google has made about 200 softwares, free of cost softwares. Web 2 collaboration software there is there. Play Google is there. Then photo math, directly solving the problem. We are just formulas are there. The teacher can just implement impart the values of the x variables. Immediately the answers are given. The instant problems, how to create the instant problem. For this purpose, the teacher has this can be used this software. Kahoot is there, word art is there. Now such a type of softwares are available. These are the some Android apps are there. These are the free of cost Google has given for the only teacher. Now what happens, suppose we are now this FDP is there. Now FDP, what happen, I am giving the lecture from my house, you are sitting in your house and you are learning that. But we are using the Google Zoom app or Zoom Meet app. Now such a type of this Crazy Viewer is also same type of app. Now what happened in the classroom, suppose 50 computers are there and teacher has mobile, just mobile is immediate directly connected to the Bluetooth to the all computers, and teachers mobile, the screen is up, implementing or screening on the every computer immediately just by using this crazy app. Now these are the free apps are there for presentation. Now all type of apps are given by the Google. This is for teacher. Why we are not using this type of app? The Penju software is there. Now these are the two books where the educational technology resources are given in these two big books. Educational technology, what type of technology can be used in the education, These are the old book, but most of the things are given in these two books. Now for teacher is not a teacher just like a school teacher. The higher education teacher is not a teacher. He is a mentor. He is a facilitator. He is a counselor. Such a type of teaching roles are there. And in this role, we have to uh, become going to the classroom and with respect to the student, we have to behave in this like this. The learner-centric education, we are not going in detail also because of variety of learning experiences are there. ICTs are there, LMS material is there, then e-learning resources are also there, and through this the teacher quality get improved. It helps to improve the teacher quality. Now, in case of the liberal education, to energize the undergraduate and graduate programs. Now, liberal education, what happened? The generic skills are there. Now, for example, suppose the mechanical engineer student, but he has a by its own he has a skill of music, but he don't know about the music and mechanical. Suppose that in the last term, can he complete there or earn the credit from the music? If the engineer student can go for the last semester in the to learn the MSc chemistry. Now, because on his interest, suppose this liberal education is given to the allowed to the student like a CBCS system. Now, actually, what happened? The CBS system, we are going to implement this, but actually, it is in the it is not implemented in the practice. Now, when the student has suppose music and mechanical knowledge, then he can go to the entrepreneurship into the to prepare the some musical instrument in a different way, maybe. And such a type of the liberal education is make available because national education policy for the 2019 totally dependent on this the interdisciplinary approach of the student. Not only suppose the civil engineer student going only for the civil engineer and do work in the future in the civil work also, only, but he has to work in the different way. His knowledge in the civil engineer, but it is a major knowledge, but minor knowledge may be in the different way, and then the two combination of two this knowledge he get the application. Now my experience is that I am the background of chemistry, but if we interact with the microbiology student, the my research is related to the applied research. Now in this way such a type of liberal education can the institute able to give or give the support to the student to do this type of approach, interdisciplinary approach. Now, National Research Foundation in the research scheme also, the government has given a lot of funding in the research scheme for the student. The proposal must be in the interdisciplinary manner, and with the help of this, if you learn or if you read the all educational policies, national education policy, you can understand that so many things are there. Just only 5%, even that 5% we cannot do for the student. The management cannot do for the student. Administration like principal cannot do for the student. Now so many things are there, make it available for the student. Somebody can use a tag, catch up something and do research in the variety of the student, because teacher has to write the proposal, he has to acquire certain APIs and their research publications, but student has not required anything. He has to write proposal with the help of teacher. He will get the funding at the time of learning process. Now, teacher education, the moving teacher education into the multidisciplinary college and universities. Teacher has also learned something from the other subject, because when he correlate in the classroom, when he teaching some certain thing or one concept, when he correlate with the other subject, then students are get attracted immediately. Now, benefit of this, the student can intercorrelate with the community or local resources, then teacher has also giving the benefit for teaching purposes, because he has satisfied with when the students are understanding his concept. Now these are the professional education, then professional education under this undergraduate education capacity planning for professionals, postgraduate education and research faculty. Now such a type of legal education, these are the educations are there in the under the professional education. We have to give the support to the student also for the professional education. Technology in education, how the technology is implemented in the education. Nowadays what happened, the students are involved in the mobiles, but why should not teacher take the benefit? give the video lecture and to give the task on the Google form, the examination. Immediately the student watching the your video and they can give the examination. Then after certain time, the students can keep their mobile aside from there, and we have to involve the student what they require, what they want, or what the students are able to take the technology, digest the technology. The teacher has role to involve in them and to learn, come to the and impart into the learning process. Now, then vocational education, we are not going in detail. Vocational education. Now, this is the practices. Now, in our college, what happened every year when we are facing to the accreditation for the MBA as well as the NAC, the principal, coordinator, and IQC heads are the problem. What is the best practice of our college? Now, forget about this best practice. We choose the good practices of our college. Now, in case of the curricula, the field project in social work, it may be a good practice of the college. Then value-based education, credit-based program, progress to student, industry academia program, student exchange program. This type of curricula made good practices of our college. Then, in case of the teaching learning process, the quality education for first generation learners, mentoring program for stress, then ICT enabled college, knowledge leaders, then innovative teaching and learning processes, edu environment in our college, research culture among the UG student, then field work, social work, teacher exchange program, teacher quality program, evaluation of the teacher by student. Such a type of many we can prepare the good practices of our college. But what happened once the we have to plan at the beginning of the year, the principal, the IQAC coordinator, and in charge of the head of the department sit together and to identify what type of the good practice may be there in this year, and think over that and implement easily. The good practice of your college can be identified easily. Now, this is related to the research and infrastructure. Research incentives for the faculty, community rich programs, infrastructure for social transformation, full use of library, computer education to all stakeholders, involvement of students in maintenance of infrastructure. Now, students should be involved in each and every activity. They will do very better. Uh, the student support and leadership, under this leadership, the student counseling, placement to everybody, financial support to every student, social bonding through the community service, transparent admission process, effective human resource management, vision, mission, and implementation. Now, these type of good practices must be there, and we have to identify. And after identifying the good practice, then we can choose the what is the best practice of our college. Best practice is the practice. From that practice, our college, our institute can be identified. And this type of best practices in the 1 year, in the second year, third year, and for 5 years, or it may be for accreditation purpose, we can choose any best practice. Then the question is not arises what will be the best practice of our college. Now, in this way, now my institute has a social background, and therefore in COVID, what happened, uh, any situation you can work on that situation. Now the COVID situation is there, the my college, the all staff supplying the ambulance to the COVID situation. Now, today the 165 ambulance work daily work from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And this ambulance with the municipal corporation doctor, two nurses, and our staff, one of the staff is going to the this ambulance, and we are going to check the patients. We are helping to the patients for counseling, because due to this COVID, what happened? Everybody is under pressure. So to reduce the pressure, our institute work very hard in Pune, Mumbai, Pimpri Chinchwad, Dhule, then Malegaon, Nashik, Satara. In this area, our team is very efficiently work. Our staff is also involved. Sometimes non-teaching staff is continuously involved with the kit and with the precaution. Till now, in the last year week, we are treated the patients, 4 lakh patients were treated, giving the medicine to the for different diseases, small diseases. The requirement, and most important thing is that the counseling. counseling from the doctors and staff continuously given to these peoples, and this is a very good practice. Even that situation, the risk is there, but even our staff is working for this. In Pune, the 85 ambulances are there. In Mumbai, in Dharavi, in most of the slum area where the COVID infection is very larger, there our doctors, our team, our ambulances are going there and do work for them. Such a type of activity done by the every year. Some calamities are there. These calamities, we are going there in the Gujarat earthquake, tsunami, like that. All where our work college is working with the social attitude, because this is the role for the student. Student knows what type of the teacher, what type of non teaching, what type of management is working for the such a type of situation. This can be automatically will gives the impact the learning process for the student. Okay, thank you. If you have any question, then you can ask.
Thank you, sir. Uh, there are few questions to ask you, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So I want to ask you, what are the smart changes teacher has to adopt
Yes.
after this pandemic situation, rather than the online teaching?
Yes, I think Bole sir has given the answer for this. But even that we are organizing this webinar in this situation also. May or may not be the situation is same as after certain month, but we are thinking about that the up to the first semester of this year, it may be the situation may remain here in Pune and Mumbai situation places. For this purpose, we have to, the teacher has to make such a type of video lectures. He has to make the certain curricula for the student, and giving the lectures, online test, and every lecture has a polls, because the polls are there, then and then only the student can listen your carefully your lecture, and they can learn from your lecture. After certain time, they can maybe listen lecture after certain time also. You have to supply this lecture not only for this one time, but through the YouTube. You can give us the your lecture to the student continuously, and you take the feedback from the student. Now this is the one plan. Now from other plan, suppose that the students are coming into the college. Now college has to change the timetable, because in this situation, the 80 students, 40 students, they are not sitting in the classroom. We have to make the different classrooms, just only the 20 students in the one class. In such a type of situation, we have to make certain plan to the student, uh, uh, teach in this way. In the this type of situation, we have to make the plan A, plan B, plan C. What type of situation is there, we don't know in the future.
Another question is there. What is the difference between value-added course and add-on course?
Here, value added, we are giving the concept to the student. It is included in the syllabus. It is included in your curricula. But what happened? The community requires more than that. For this purpose, the teacher should know what type of value should be known to the student of this concept, and therefore teacher has to make such a type of short-term courses as a value added to continue the syllabus for a certain time. This is the value added. But in add-on course, what happened? Suppose that we are saying that the university or AICT giving the syllabus, and this syllabus is not useful for the community. Teacher says that. Now, at that time, the student required certain add-on knowledge to the syllabus. That add-on courses can be made short term. It requires minimum 30 hours course. Now this type of add-on courses can be prepared. In value added, the values of the concept can be implemented, and in add-on, just curricula is extended. In this way, add-on course can be made and value added courses are made.
That means in coming curriculum, it can be added as a part of syllabus also.
It's a part of not the syllabus, but it is not in the syllabus, but it requires for the student. and that's why it is an add-on.
Another question asks, what is the role of teacher to satisfy the stakeholders, such as the parents, society, community?
Yes, stakeholder satisfied. Suppose that our output is completed. What is output? The skillful, graduatable, employable students are we created from our institute. Then the community will get satisfied. If it is not there, then community is not satisfied. Then we have to think over it. What type of process we have to give unto the student?
Another, what can be the strategy for the online classroom after the COVID-19?
Online classroom, see here, when such a type of webinars we are organizing, these type of classrooms are there, okay. But some students are coming to the college, every classroom should be a ICT enabled classroom. In that classroom, the Wi-Fi system is available, the projector is available. Such a type of system should be, we have to giving the support to the student.
Okay. Another participant asked question, how to use Bloom's taxonomy in the paper settings?
Bloom's technology in the paper settings, see here, nowadays what happened, some of the questions are direct questions. Now the student facing the question which are in the thinking level, that is the analyzing level. If these type of questions are regularly we ask to the student, then in the examination we can use this Bloom technology as a to get the only applied question.
One participant asked, how to improve the result from academically weak students?
What? How to improve the result?
From academically weak student.
Weak student. Okay. We have to categorize the slow learners. I'm not saying that the students are weak. The concept we have to change that the slow learners, fast learners, and moderate learners. For slow learners, the teacher has to identify who the student from the slow learners, and for these students we have to implement the certain pedagogical tool. They have giving the certain task to the to develop the creative mind, and then immediately they can be converted into the slow learner to the moderate learner and then fast learners.
One more question can I ask? Uh, how to find the different scholarships for the student?
Yes, there are so many scholarships are available. I will give the website of all these 270 websites are there for the scholarship from the NGO and from government. About 51 scholarships are available for the graduate student. These websites I will given to you tomorrow. You can implement or transfer to the all participant. All these websites are there. A teacher has to read the what are the requirement for these website scholarship. Now Leela Punawala website scholarship is there. Then from just I am talking about the Wakefield Foundation scholarship is there. Such a type of my institute also giving the scholarship for the social work. Now every year about 50 students receive the fellowship scholarship for the for the social work, just only to make the proposal to go there field work and to survey there. Now we are working in the Pani Foundation, we are working in the so many areas of the social work. So my institute also every year giving the such a type of scholarship. So many scholarships are available on the net. You can search, the teacher has to search this.
Another, in the similar way, can you suggest some government funding schemes for the teacher training?
Teacher training.
Government
Yes.
funding schemes.
Even AISSMS is also like Atal Academy is also giving for the technical education DST, then FIST is also given DST, then DTA is also allowed to give the some fellowship for the teacher. Startup grants is also now available. If you go to the DST now, the 6 to 7 scholarship fellowships are now available. The teacher has to apply there.
Okay,
Can I, sir,
huh.
can I ask one question?
Yes, sure, please.
Raikot, sir. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I am in charge of student chapter in our college at institute level.
Okay.
So can you suggest me, sir, how many student chapters are required in one department? Which we have at least one chapter in each department. So is it necessary to have more than one chapter and faculty chapter of professional bodies in department?
Okay. No, sir, I am not understanding your question.
Sir, we have some student chapters like Institution of Engineers student chapter, IST student chapter,
Okay.
and then some SE, etc. At
Okay.
least one chapter in one department. So is it necessary to have more than one chapter?
No, I don't know exactly
Regarding professional society staff chapter?
I don't know what about the chapters and this system.
Student role of student associations.
Okay.
How students are to be involved in different activities.
Okay. We
I
have
want
to.
to add in this.
Yes, yes.
It can be considered as a good innovative practice at the institution level.
Yes, I am thinking that every student is also participated in this type of activity, even that in the administrative. We have to plan perfectly at the beginning of the year and then implement through the student. Student can involve in all type of activity.
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. Any Balke sir? Hello.
Concept of flipped classroom.
Yes. No, flipped classroom, just only the hands-on training. You have to go to the Google flipped classroom concept. The steps are given there, and each and every step you can follow for one of the class. Flipped class, just only it is related to the hands-on training we can implement for the technical education. So you search there, the method is given, flipped classroom method, and accordingly you have to make certain certain in the steps. We can create some steps, implement for the suppose mechanical student, for civil student. We have to create certain changes made in the steps given in the on the flipped classroom.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir. So, sir, we conclude now.
Yes, sir. Yes. After that, there will be one announcement. You conclude, then we'll have that announcement.
So we are now concluding the session, and we are very much thankful. Behalf of the AISSMS College of Engineering and the Principal, Dr. Bormane sir, our AISSMS management, we are grateful to you for your indeed inputs and providing various highlighted topics and discuss with us, which are very much important and useful to be practiced in our regular teaching learning process. Basically, innovative practices in teaching, various teaching models, learning inputs suggested, teaching methods, as well as enhancing for the quality, as well as innovative software tools, apps, various apps for the teachers, and institutional level good practices which you have been highlighted in the presentation are really takeaway from this today's session to all of our participants. So we really appreciate your time, sir, to deliver a wonderful talk and for this FDP. So it is always pleasure for us to have with you, always with us for the future workshops also. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Valke sir will make announcement.
Yeah, yeah.
please.
So tomorrow there will be session on Avenue to Consultancy by Dr. Oleg from the South Korea. Because of the time difference, so instead of 2, he has agreed to take the start the session at 2:30. He is very particular about the time. I request all the participants please join at the 2 o'clock. So that is a just change instead of 1:30. So all participants are requested to join at 2 o'clock. The session will start at 2:30. That is change what I would like to suggest all participants.
Now, can I ask all the participants to on their video so that we can take selfie?
Yes, please stop screen sharing, sir, so that we will see all
Gaikwad
photos.
sir.
Gaikwad sir.
Gaikwad sir.
Gaikwad sir आहेत का?
आहेत.
Thank you, sir. Wait a minute. Wait up. Total 15 screens are there. Thank you very much, all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So
Thank you.
we are coming to the end of the today's sessions. Thank you. You may leave now.
So all are requested to join tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
So should I end meeting, sir?
Yes, yes.
Balke, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, all, for your patience listening. So see you tomorrow. Thanks.